Hi everyone, it's Helix again. I didn't expect to be back, but I am.
Ça va arriver, l'image est là. L'image est là, incroyable. Dernière run de ce marathon, pas n'importe quoi, messieurs, dames. C'est une run de Celeste. Et une run de Celeste 100%. Donc vous allez voir l'entièreté du jeu avec des mouvements incroyables, fort bien réalisés. Je l'espère en tout cas. Et voilà, donc comme dit précédemment, messieurs, dames, on vous invite évidemment à rester juste après le marathon. Il y aura un petit temps de remerciement et d'information puisque on a quelques informations supplémentaires vis-à-vis de la suite des événements post-Fromethon. Donc si vous voulez ces informations pour justement éventuellement vous préparer à ce qui va arriver, voire même éventuellement participer à la création de ces événements ou choses comme ça, ou même au vécu de ces événements, je ne sais pas trop comment dire, mais voilà. N'hésitez pas à rester justement, comme ça vous aurez les informations et on vous invite aussi à rejoindre le Discord qui se trouve juste en dessous le stream pour communiquer plus facilement, que ce soit avec l'équipe du Baguette ou même les différents runners que vous avez pu voir ou d'autres membres qui sont là présents pour d'autres choses. Je ne vais pas m'attarder plus que ça. Je vais laisser GrosHiken ainsi que son commentateur Ayanoko faire leur run. Et puis voilà, du coup, messieurs, on attend juste votre décompte. Et puis
Hello.
nous, du coup, on est ready to launch, comme on dit, la run. Sur ce, messieurs, à vous le stream.
Eh bien, bonjour à tous. Donc, je suis GrosHiken et je suis aidé de Ayano Korin.
Bonsoir.
Donc, on s'est dit qu'on avait un peu de temps et comme ça va assez vite dès le début, on va peut-être faire un petit check-up du mouvement du jeu pour que vous compreniez quand on parle de strat et de ce qui se passe à l'écran. Alors, les contrôles de ce jeu... Ouais, dis-moi.
Je disais, ça bouge très très vite, donc expliquer ça tout en jouant, c'est compliqué.
Yes. Donc, les contrôles du jeu sont super simples. On a juste un saut, un dash. La couleur de Madeline change en fonction du nombre de dash qu'elle a. Donc à la fin, elle en aura 2. Bon, là, c'est un petit spoiler pour la fin. Les cheveux sont roses quand elle en a 2. Ils sont rouges quand elle n'en a qu'un. Et ils sont bleus quand elle n'en a plus. Mais elle peut aussi grimper, voilà, faire des grimpés et sauter en grimpant. C'est tout. Mais en combinant ces actions, on va pouvoir avoir des résultats intéressants. Si je me mets en bas, que je dash et que je saute, ça va loin. Si je vais sur le côté, que je dash et que je saute, ça va loin, un peu moins mais un peu plus haut. Ça s'appelle un super dash quand je vais pas vers le bas, et quand je vais vers le bas, ça s'appelle un hyper dash. Vous voyez que Madeline, quand je le fais comme ça, elle perd un dash. Là, les jeux ils sont roses, ils sont rouges. C'est pas bien, surtout au début quand on a qu'un seul dash.
Looks like Gross is just explaining Speak Tech on stream right now.
J'ai le temps de regagner le dash que j'ai utilisé.
So, if you dash down into the ground and jump afterwards, you can get what's called a hyper dash. And if you space those inputs out correctly, that will be extended and you'll have your dash midair. Alternatively, you can dash horizontally and then jump, and that'll be a super. Not quite as much momentum, but you get more height. And then if you dash down diagonally after anything while moving at a pretty high speed, that'll be called an.
Je refais un dash.
So I'm not sure when are we going to get going here, Helix? Do you know?
Un ultra dash, c'est un dash qui a beaucoup plus de distance et de vitesse qu'un dash diagonal normal. Et si je saute après, je peux conserver ma vitesse un peu. Ça c'est pratique. Et aussi, alors on a vu que si je faisais un dash puis un saut rapidement sur un des côtés, ça allait vite. Si je le fais en haut, ça va vite aussi. Ça s'appelle un wall bounce. Et ça permet de gagner pas mal de hauteur.
Ou hop, hyper dash si vous êtes un fou furieux, on aime bien les noms un peu bizarres.
Ça marche aussi. Ça marche aussi. Vous appelez ça comme vous voulez. Ok, est-ce que... c'est à peu près tout. Alors il y a un autre truc, c'est que si je vais très vite contre un coin, genre un corner entre le mur et le sol, et le plafond, pardon, et la fin du mur, pardon, je fais un corner boost. Ça s'appelle un corner boost, voilà, ça me donne un boost de vitesse. Si je fais un time jump rapide. Ouais.
Où est-ce qu'il y a un setup pour faire un
Je sais
corner
pas.
dash ou en montrer un
Je sais pas trop, j'essaye celui-là, c'est pas terrible. On verra comment ça se passe en run peut-être.
Oui, on verra. Il y a beaucoup de corner
Il
boost
y en a
dans la
beaucoup.
run. Si vous voyez Madeline qui fait un petit peu du saut de mouton avec les coins, c'est que c'est un corner boost.
Yes. C'est à peu près tout. Il y a le démo dash, mais est-ce que je peux aller quelque part pour le montrer? Je pense qu'on verra en run. On peut peut-être l'expliquer comment ça se passe. C'est juste que ça, c'est un dash normal, ça, c'est un démo dash. Alors, vous n'allez peut-être pas forcément repérer la différence. La seule différence, c'est qu'en fait, c'est possible d'avoir l'état accroupi pendant mon dash. Là c'était le cas. Et ça permet de réduire la hitbox de Madline pendant le dash. Et ça va nous permettre de passer à travers des trous que l'on peut pas voir ou qui sont très petits. Alors la hitbox de Madeline, quand elle est comme ça, c'est exactement 4 pixels. Et il se trouve que dans certains niveaux, l'écartement entre deux spikes, entre deux, je sais pas comment le dire, entre deux
Oui, des
trucs,
blobs, des pics ou
des trucs qui vous tuent, des pics, c'est 4 pixels. Donc dans certains cas, on va pouvoir passer à travers grâce à ce dash, ce démo dash, qui a l'air tout à fait inoffensif à la première vue.
C'est une des seules techniques de mouvement que les devs n'avaient pas prévues parce qu'il faut
Alrighty.
hyper dash, le wave dash qui est l'équivalent, c'est comme un hyper dash mais en
Hello, everyone. This is Celeste 100%, being run by Gross. Right now, he's just going through some various speed tech for the. I'm Jack. I've done speedruns of this game for quite a while myself.
Les reverse peut-être.
Ah oui,
Après,
oui.
c'est
Ah oui, c'est vrai que j'ai oublié, en parlant des hippers et des extended hippers, c'est aussi possible de...
Not much to talk about yet. He's just messing around in epilogue.
Ça donne la même vitesse qu'un hyper ou qu'un extended hyper. Mais ça va nous permettre, par exemple, là, si je veux faire un hyper et regarder mon dash, je peux pas faire un extended hyper parce que j'ai pas assez de place sur le sol, et ben je peux faire un reverse. Puisque je reste sur le sol pendant tout.
Okay, it looks like the tech he's demoing right now is reverses. If you, in this instance, dash to the right and then jump to the left before the dash ends, you can get both speed and your dash back from a small ledge like that. You can do that with a lot of tech, actually. Reverse hypers, reverse supers. Reverse corner boosts are technically a thing, but no, you won't see that in the.
Parfait. Je vais commencer la run. Oh, j'avais mis Fromethon, ça s'est enlevé.
Ouais, quand tu sais.
So yeah, this is Celeste 100%. It involves completing every chapter of the game and getting all of the red strawberries as well as the moonberry in chapter 9. So at the end, you should see 176 out of 175 if all goes well.
Donc le timer dans 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty, and we're going.
Les runs se font habituellement.
So right at the start of the run, we've got a 30-second intro where you don't have a dash, so it's just dashless movement. Each jump you'll see saves a few frames. So he bunny hops across this bridge.
Quand on est dans le jeu, on n'a pas le temps de se reposer du tout, ça peut permettre de faire un petit break.
Toutes les cutscenes sont...
And then some of the tech that he probably explained well in epilogue that just a bit ago was super dashes, which is dashing horizontally and then jumping out of it to preserve the momentum from the dash. Corner boost, which is either dashing or hypering into a corner and then jumping as you hit the wall to clear it and preserve your speed. And then hyper dashes, which is dashing down into the ground and then jumping, which gives you more speed than a super but less height. And ultras, which you saw right there coming from that fifth berry, which is dashing down diagonally with speed to preserve that momentum even further. And so in general, a lot of the stuff you'll see in this run is just using the tools that Madeline has to get speed and then keep it for as long as you can. And right there, you'll see him doing return to map. That's not faster RTA, but since speedruns of this game are timed with the IGT for various It actually saves a little bit of time not having to backtrack.
J'ai eu la première.
And right away, he's headed up to this first heart, and that's a tricky strat to get that transition. But you only lose a couple seconds. So here, inputting a dash code to make the heart appear, and he may save and quit here. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. So there's another IGT save and quitting to skip that, and it puts you back right.
J'avais pas vu le taper parce que je l'ai tapé tout en me déplaçant vers le cœur.
Ça permet de.
So for Second City, first level of the game, rooms are pretty small. Everything's close together. But this is actually one of the harder chapters for collecting all the red berries, in my opinion. There's a lot of tight strats. It's very easy to lose a lot of time to top runner. It's looking pretty good so far.
Et donc le niveau 1 qui est relativement rapide, je crois qu'il prend que 3 minutes à peu près.
Yes, ouais, quelque chose comme ça.
Dans les eaux là, avec la cassette, etc.
Okay, là,
So in addition to all of the red berries and the hearts, you will have to get the cassette, which unlocks the B side of this level. So that'll be a little bit.
Enfin, bien sûr, si je meurs avec une fraise pendant que je l'ai derrière moi, elle ne...
So the reason that this category needs all of the hearts is, well, one, it's considered completion by the game, but two, to get into the final level for DLC 8C, you need all 23 other hearts. So he's got to collect them to play all the chapters.
Il y a pas mal de runs très très fortes qui sont mortes à cause.
Yes.
And we'll see another return to map here.
Et donc là, encore un return to map pour se roter.
How's my timing? I'm watching the big episode, so I'm just kind of hoping I'm
En ramassant la cassette, donc c'est la cassette que j'ai ramassée.
going to do SF.
Phase B qu'on verra un petit peu après. Ah, dommage.
So here, since he dashed in a way that he didn't want to, he had to re-enter that room because winged berries will leave when you dash. And a lot of them, we actually have strats to dash near them so that we can get to them faster before they leave. But if you mess up an entry like that or whatever happens, you usually have to re-enter the room because they're just gone or reach.
J'ai dash entre les deux cristaux. Sympa. Le but du joueur français.
L'avantage de Celeste aussi, c'est que, bon, à part.
Ooh, nice little strat there. So you can start fast falling at a very precise time in coming back from that last berry room to just set up that corner. And he's out of city. So I talked to him before the run. He will be doing A, B, A, B, A, B. So he will play the B side of every chapter right after he plays A. So just for some continuity, we will see our first B side. 1B. It's a fun level. There's a lot of cool strats in this level. It's a pretty tough one, but it's a very fun one to speedrun.
À l'extrême, avec à la fin un petit screen avec les mêmes blocs bleu et rose comme on a vu tout à l'heure. Ah, donc là.
It was sort of the same level elements that you had in 1A. You've got the traffic block, sort of icy tile set, snow in the background, and then like the metal girders or whatever those spikes. So here he's setting up I think it's like 2 pixels that work for this to get a corner jump there, and our corner boost, I suppose, and then an upright dash to clear the rest.
Ça nous évite un petit passage. D'ailleurs, il y a un skip stylé.
And I wonder if he's going to do the demo at the end of this. Oh, nice. So if you set up on the right pixel there, if you set up on the correct pixel, you can just demo on corner boost, and it'll no matter what subpixel, which is this game does have position more precise than a pixel, and there are ways to set it up, and passes certainly work with that much more frequently than RTA runners are concerned with it. But there, if you're on the correct pixel, your subpixel actually doesn't matter, and you will get speed from that corner.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be quiet this whole time. I pushed the talk button, unbound itself.
Oh, hi, Helix.
You mentioned how he's doing A B A B A B, etc.
Yes.
What's the most common way to do that? Like with that.
Honestly, I don't know if there is a most common way. Hundo doesn't really matter what you do. It's very loose. For instance, one runner I know, Trugent, sort of as a joke, would get the gem in 2,000 meters of 7A and then quit out and play 7 and finish 7A at the end of his run.
It's kind of funny.
But I think probably the most common is doing A sides, then either B side. You can do either A, B, C, farewell, or A, farewell, B, C. I like to leave farewell for the end of the run, just because it sort of feels right. But if you're like trying to like actually speedrun this game, or speedrun this category for like a good time, doing farewell early if you're not consistent at it can be really good for resetting, because that's a hard chapter.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. I suppose, yeah, because this is timed within game time, it really doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, pretty much. I think when Nero ran this category a while back, he would do like 1B and 5B in his ARB playthrough of the A sides, just because he found them to be hard and reset worthy. But for the most part, he would do A, B, A, then B, and I don't know. It's really up to personal preference. What you find hard, what you want at the end of the run. Yeah.
I love categories like that, honestly, because then you get so much variance between runners.
Yeah, for sure. You can make comparing difficult, but it's definitely cool to see personal preference.
La position horizontale, mais pas la position verticale.
Yes.
Ce qui fait que du coup, bah, il se retrouve.
So in old set, we've got these dream blocks that when you dash into, they extend your dash until the end of them. So dash up through one, and then you just go all the way through. If you dash into a wall, you will die. So something to take note of. But here, you see the first seeded berry of the game. So you've got to get all the seeds without touching the ground. And then they turn into a berry. So there'll be a few more of those.
Les conditions pour le perdre sont assez bizarres et du coup on va pouvoir l'exploiter dans le.
But yeah, about this chapter, this is one of, I think, a lot of people's favorite chapters for ARB. There's just a lot of red berries. There's a lot of cool movement, and it's just a fun chapter to play while getting there.
Alors d'ailleurs, le jeu nous apprend un peu plus tard, au chapitre 2B qu'on va faire juste après, que c'est possible de sauter.
I think Old Side is one of my favorite chapters to watch.
Yeah.
Something about the dream blocks. I don't know.
Ou même de faire des hyper dash, qui est un peu. Oups, c'est pas grave, j'ai collecté la berry.
Ouais, on est bon.
And headed into the second checkpoint here, we're now being followed by a reflection of ourselves. The game only refers to her as a part of you, but the community collectively has decided to call her Bad Alliance. The main character being Mad.
Le jeu traite les dream blocks comme du sol. C'est aussi pour ça qu'il nous redonne notre dash.
She follows your movement a second or two behind. I don't remember the exact.
Soit de sauter en sortant du dream block, soit de sauter.
Yeah, me either. But of course, if you touch her, you will die. And that's not good.
One thing that sort of Old Set reminds me of is the music in this game is really good, and it sort of develops as you go through a chapter. So you'll have a theme that plays for a while, and as you get to different parts and do different things in game, the tracks will build upon themselves. And playing through this part of the chapter, the drums and percussion really kick in, and it really like ups sort of the anxiety of being followed by yourself. Unfortunate death here. This part of the room can be a little bit punished. Oh no, not again.
Celeste does a lot of good stuff like that. Just sort of building suspense, building the mood.
Là, c'est un des screens les plus longs du jeu. Enfin, les plus longs du jeu. C'est un screen qui est quand même relativement long, donc on peut
pour les premiers chapitres en tout cas.
Chaque mort.
That room's one of the longest rooms that we'll see for a while. It's the longest room to this point in the game, and then it will be the longest room until pretty far into chapter 3 as well.
Genre, je
C'est
cherche
vrai.
même plus à comprendre, c'est carrément.
Oh, interesting. Suppose I hadn't really paid attention to exactly how long these rooms are.
Yeah, for the most part, it's not too long through chapters 1 and 2, which makes sense. These are the shorter chapters of the game. That one room is something of an exception.
Devrais-je dire, il y a des grands malades qui le font.
J'ai fait la fraise dorée de Farewell une fois, ça m'a bien suffi.
C'est déjà beaucoup trop pour la santé mentale. je pense.
C'est déjà pas mal.
So there's another strat with a wingberry where you very carefully dash to collect that before it goes away. So that saves having to go around the springs to the right.
And you do have to land for a few frames to actually collect the berry. I'm not sure how many frames
Correct.
it is. You probably know.
So if you don't have a berry following you already, berries will collect on the ground when you're on the ground for 9 frames. And if you do already have one following you, I believe it's 18. It's something like there's a countdown to when the countdown starts, and it makes it long. So collecting berry trains can take longer than collecting individual berries.
Oh, that's weird. I did not know that.
I assume that's sort of for one-up collection. I don't know. If you collect 6 berries at once, your like the score that pops up next to the berry will increase, and it'll give you 1-up. It's sort of a Mario reference. But yeah, now we're a little bit further away from red berries in Old Site B. This is another one of my favorite ILs. I guess I like B-sides in general, but this one it's got a lot of cool strats as well, same as 1B. So we'll see how he does.
Donc là, vous allez voir beaucoup de double jump en sortant des dream blocks.
Ah, mais faut pas que je fasse ça.
Yeah, for those who maybe haven't seen this game or don't know too much about it, the B-sides can get pretty darn difficult, especially the C-sides as well.
Yeah, they definitely get more punishing. It's a lot easier to die in a lot more places in these levels.
Ah oui, pour récupérer notre dash et skip la moitié du tableau.
Là, je vais essayer de faire le prochain écran.
As a casual player, I'm so bad at these.
I believe he's doing A, B, A, B, A, B, farewell, and then all C-side. So a bit of an unconventional route, but like, again, as we were saying earlier, you can pretty much choose how you want to play this. So that coin skip there that he did is another sort of demo into corner boost that gets you to the far side of that block, and then you can just skip like here. You can just dash up right and skip going through there, and so there you can just jump on that corner because spikes don't exist in this game. So there's a ton of cool stuff in this level, and hopefully in the next room here you will see a strat called based alter skip. Previously you had a strat that was similar but involved performing an upright diagonal, and instead what you just saw is you can demo through the block and then hold right, and you actually retain a crouched hit. I have not explained demo dashes yet, but if you release down after, like during the freeze frames of a dash, you can dash horizontally or up diagonally with a crouched hitbox, which will be useful for going through spikes, which you'll see in the next chapter, and for skips like that, where it's just, you need to be a little bit higher to make it work.
Si j'ai rien à faire ou si je dois attendre un cycle ou quelque chose comme ça, vous allez me voir dasher en continu, juste pour ralentir un peu le timer in-game.
Alrighty, so now we're headed into the Celestial Resort. This chapter is a nightmare casually. It's a nightmare speedrun, but it's also really fun and satisfying to get good at. There's a ton of like movement-based stuff in this chapter.
Je ne cherche plus à comprendre. Oups, j'ai raté ma...
And of course, collecting all the red berries, we'll get to see more of it.
It definitely looks impressive. I mean, this entire game does, but this section in particular, I think is one of the best examples.
Ooh, nice. So across that last transition, he did another demo dash to the left and then uncrouched as he like left the wall, which allowed him to corner. That's a cool transition strat.
Bien sûr, je commence à expliquer une strat, je l'écris, je l'ai fini de l'expliquer, on est 3 écrans après, mais...
3 screens après, ouais.
Vous savez l'idée.
Ok, alors est-ce que ce sera.
On the topic of the soundtrack from earlier,
Je sais pas, j'ai jamais.
he'll be entering the next section he enters will be called Huge Mess, and you press 3 buttons to clear up clutter in the section. And as you do so, the music actually changes, which is sort of it's probably the coolest example of it. It just adds more layers to the track as you go in. This is probably I really like the 3A OST. It's probably one of my favorites. It's really atmospheric.
Donc là, ça aurait pu paraître un petit peu.
We'll have 3B later too, and I think that's one of my favorite tracks in the game,
Oh
just
yeah,
in
it's
general.
a banger. If you're sensing a theme, it's that all the music is good. Lena Rain did a really good job with this, as well as the people who did remixes for the B.
Après avoir cliqué.
Ouais.
Ah, qu'est-ce que je fais?
I wish I had sound so I could actually like hear the soundtrack.
Mais extrêmement frustrant qu'on la touche pas, je trouve.
Oui. Ok, là on va arriver à la section qui s'appelle Huge Mess.
As you can see, the keys will open doors. Gotta wait a little bit for that to happen.
Yep.
Not too long.
There are actually cycles for that. So the keys have a 20 like sprite cycle, and I think it's sprite 4 that opens a door. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But if you get to a door, okay, never mind. Sorry, we have something else to talk about. So you just saw him dash through spikes there. That demo dashing I mentioned earlier, her crouched hitbox is 4 pixels tall, and the sprites for this game for these rounds are often placed 4 pixels apart, which is kind of convenient because that means that then if you've lined yourself up correctly, you can just dash through. And so that demo dash it sets itself up pretty well out of a maximum height. And as long as you jump or dash at the correct time, you'll be able to go through those spikes.
Basically, dust bunnies here, as they're affectionately called, are just a suggestion.
Pretty much. A pretty strong suggestion most of the time, but there are a few places where we can just ignore it. And you're going to see him do a save and quit here because the game actually gets confused and doesn't have a respawn point for down there. So when he enters back in, he will be in the upper section and skips backtracking through the mess room and 3 or 4 rooms of gameplay. So that's a cool skip.
That's a cheeky little strat. I like it.
And that's why this order is fast, actually. And there's another thing he's going to do that makes this order particularly fast over chests, the brown boxes. So yeah, there's 2 main orders for collecting berries in this: chest towel books and towel books chests. The main feature being towels into books, so purple to green, because that allows you to do that save. And then the reason that he's doing this order is because at the end of this section, he's going to take the key to the upper door to exit the section, and then actually go back down to a berry to the left while it's opening the door. And then he'll be able to come back after that. So that skips waiting at the door.
Hop, et voilà. Donc là, il est dans le sens des pics, donc il a pu sauter du mur qui était en dessous des pics.
Je vais rater la strat.
Some of these berry rooms are very tough. Sort of, especially with like the resort creep on the ground, figuring out what ground to actually touch and what to leave there, so that you can go back later. This is interesting. So there, he puts the key in the door, then goes down, and the door is gone now.
C'est vrai qu'on dirait vraiment pas le même jeu. C'est super intéressant.
I do enjoy small optimizations like that in routing.
Yeah, I believe that route saved 1.5 seconds or something. So completely rerouting a 2-minute section saves about a second.
Things we do for fast times.
De l'enfer, d'accord. Il faut savoir que là, juste ici, on peut.
This is one of the hardest berries casually, in my opinion. And he gets it first try, no problem. I remember struggling with that one for a while.
Easy stuff.
All right, getting this cassette.
crois que ça fait quand même gagner, mais genre une demi-seconde.
Ooh, this is cool. I've never actually learned the movement for coming back through those platforms.
Ça fait gagner du temps.
I normally just go up top, but it is faster to stay along the bottom. Like high risk, high reward.
Oops.
Yes, Arb would actually optimally go back and do a demo through those spikes up there to skip grabbing the key. But since you're already left side for the cassette, that's not faster.
Mais il est assez précis corner boost.
Ouais.
Yeah, that demo we were talking about is probably the most important demo for any percent,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
So
don't get to
that you
see
can
it
jump
here.
off the wall. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say.
I was just gonna say, I'm glad we saw another one so we could explain demos then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ça va tout droit, quoi.
So now we're being chased by Angry Ghost Man. There's been a few cutscenes with him that we've skipped throughout the course of this level, but now he's a large head just chasing you. The lightning doesn't do anything, it's just an indicator of where he's going to attack.
Ok, ça passe. Toujours peur avec la stamina sur ce screen.
Oui.
Ça passe.
You don't really want to like bounce on a shear or anything because that will actually slow the game down. I don't know if it slows like down. I don't know if it slows down the in-game timer as well, but RTA
It does
would be slower.
not. So if you see like the game slow down a bit while he's near you, it slows down like all of the movement of the game, but not the timer. So it'll actually lose time if he gets close to you. So generally you want to stay as far away as you can, unless it allows you to detect. So you'll see Tats sometimes bounce off of him because it allows it to preserve speed better. Most of the time you want to avoid him.
Et ils l'ont rajouté.
And we're out, headed into 3B.
TAS does lots of crazy stuff in this game. If you haven't seen the TAS for this, you should watch it after this run. It's
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff.
T'imagines, il aurait dû refaire ça à 3B.
Ouais.
Donc voilà 3B, le niveau que tout le monde déteste.
J'arrive même, c'est la strat la plus facile.
So getting into this level, you can see that there's a lot of hard rooms that are going to be coming out, and it's very easy to get stuck in a lot of them. This first checkpoint is really brutal. I would enjoy ILing this level more if this checkpoint did not exist, because I actually enjoy the middle two checkpoints.
C'est l'extrême, parfait.
Nice.
So that's a precise corner boost to just skip that middle part of the room. And he's out of start. Also, since we've been mentioning like individual levels, this game works is like it's pretty natural to do individual level speedruns of this game because it keeps track of your time in a journal. It's got like chapter time, so it sort of works out nicely for that. And there's a lot of cool stuff that happens like sort of just in individual level speedruns. So if you want to see these levels really ripped apart, definitely check out those boards.
Oh, j'ai pas laissé de hauteur, c'est ça.
There's a lot of good quality of life stuff in this game. I'm about it.
Yeah, it has the debug mode built in that you can turn on PC, which is very nice. It lets you sort of warp around. And also, there's a modded client that has a speedrun tool, which allows you to make save states and time any number of rooms that you want, and even set endpoints in rooms, actually. So yeah, lots of cool tools for speedrun.
Some really, really important stuff that just helped people push the game quite a bit.
Yeah, the game hasn't been out for too long, but it's definitely evolved over the course of the 2 years that it has been. Runs have come a long way. This room is probably the hardest in the level. You're going for fast stuff. There's like half a tile that you can land on there that he's going for to give you your dash back. And also, bopping on Oshiro at the beginning can let you go over the start. Definitely a scary room for doing runs. It's kind of annoying because if you're not doing those strats, you're losing like a second and a half because it allows you to skip like the spring at the end of the room.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot to lose for one room.
Yeah. Second may not sound like much, but this game these runs are fully composed of like, small micro optimizations everywhere, just saving tenths of a second wherever you can.
On arrive à la fin.
Le démo dash.
Nope. Mais bon,
The co-commentator in the French restream said no demo dash. There's actually a demo you can do in that heart room, but there's no consistent setup. Definitely not advisable for folks.
Comme on s'y attendait.
Parce que c'est 3B et
Parce
que
que c'est
personne n'aime
3B.
3B.
Et que si j'avais montré un bon 3B dans cette run, ça aurait pas été vraiment une run de Celeste.
He's probably not too happy with that. He made it out into Golden Ridge now.
C'est vraiment le fils Celeste Man de base.
C'est l'idée. Ok, 4A. Chouette chapitre, quand même. 4A. Parce qu'il y a des tricks.
So right away in this chapter, you'll see some more new stuff. We've got clouds, bubbles. Bubbles essentially serve as a dash refresh. Oh, there's a berry up here. And then clouds will give you momentum if you jump off them after they're moving upwards. And wind. So those are the three main things for this chapter. There are also auto-scroller blocks. Not much to say about them. They're auto-scroller blocks.
Elle est pas trop chiante à les rechercher, mais...
What are your feelings about wind, Hilo?
I was actually either way. I know a lot of people don't like this level casually. I also don't really.
Mm-hmm.
It's still fun. Like it's still fun. Don't get me wrong, because the whole game is really good. But I don't know. Probably still my least favorite casual level.
Interesting. I don't remember my casual impressions of it, but I will say this level is, in my opinion, very fun to spend. Okay, so for this seated berry, you'll see he's doing strats where he touches the ground and then falls off of a ledge. So the way seated berries work, they actually don't collect if you're on the ground for a brief period of time. And, well, okay, the specifications for them collecting is jumping or dashing away from the ground. So if you just fall off the ground, they don't collect. We're struggling with that strat a bit, but it's a cool way to get some dashes back and also not.
Au moins, j'ai eu la strat de la cassette.
Very nice cassette room, sorry.
Good.
Mais quelle...
I'll get the berry on the way back.
Ça va, on repasse par l'écran. Ok, alors cet écran est chouette, j'aime beaucoup ce spike jump.
But yeah, as I was saying about this level, the wind becomes less and less of a factor as you get faster in this level because it doesn't affect you while you're in a dash state. And so as you put more dashes in and move faster in general, you can just sort of appreciate the movement of the level without that obstruction.
That actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
Okay, he's collecting those berries here. It looks like he's trying to do a tough strat. And yeah, going under that block, I can see why he decided to collect those berries.
Oh my gosh.
Pas vraiment de...
For all red berries, you might not play that as safe, but for a marathon 100% run, it's definitely worth taking the half second or whatever it is to collect 2 berries.
Ouais, il y a beaucoup de strats super cool.
C'est très fluide, je trouve, comme niveau.
This section, if you watched or played any percent, it's very short. It's like a 20-second checkpoint, but with berries, it's 90 seconds, 2 minutes. I don't know the exact time, but it's a lot longer. It's sort of this maze of interconnected rooms. It's fun to explore. And you just saw him go past a white block on the ground, which is actually a reference to Super Mario Bros. 3, I believe. And we can get the skip here. We can just... But this is one of the more precise tricks in the run. I think it saves, it about breaks even if you get a second try. There we go. So that's the wall bounce on the outermost couple pixels of the range you can do it, and then getting another corner kick to get to the top of the room.
Un speedrunner, il a essayé de faire ça pendant peut-être 2-3 heures quand il a testé le jeu et il n'y arrivait pas. Donc
Ah yes, first try, ce petit skip.
let's go.
I've come to appreciate the little hard puzzles.
Yeah, each heart has a different puzzle.
Ceiling pop, c'est-à-dire qu'il a en gros sur
You've got sort of the screen transitions getting your dash back in chapter 2,
un mur et qu'on saute,
the dash combinations in chapters 1 and 6.
vraiment en face du mur, bah,
Chapter 3, you've got backtrack through the towels or laundry section.
permet d'avoir juste la distance pour dash contre le mur et passer sans prendre le bloc. Ouf.
And the B-sides just sort of give you a heart at the A-side hearts are all a little interesting.
Yeah, the B-sides make you work hard enough already.
Hop, la pire strat du jeu. Je déteste ce bunny up.
Bah, y a pas.
Oh, so there, what you saw him do there is
Après, si tu le rates,
you can dash up and then hold right, and the wind will push you into this. But since you're holding right, the game says that your speed is to the right, so the spikes won't kill you because
c'est vrai.
that's what they do in this game. If you're moving through them, they don't kill you, and that's useful in level design in a number of places. But the way speed and velocity are handled, it allows you to hold right while moving to the left, and you'll be fine.
Je saute trop tôt, pardon. Ça fait super.
Here he's going for an ultra that he wants to be ducking for, but looks like he's either ultraing too soon or letting go of down.
Mais 3 fois.
This saves like 1 second or so.
Une run de Celeste, ça commence à faire.
Ouais, ça commence à faire beaucoup.
Ok, on y est.
There we go.
Hop. Un petit ultra dash pour passer au-dessus.
Again, 1 second doesn't sound like much, but in a single room, that's a lot.
Parce que
Oh, very nice strat for that last.
il a pas
Beating that wind cycle is not easy.
pas dépensé de stamina et le vent l'a poussé un peu dans le mur, ce qui fait que bah il a pu garder sa stamina.
If you watched Pace recently, you may have seen Spiralis do this from grab with it, which makes it substantially harder, but it's still not the easiest berry in the world when you have grab.
Je sais faire, on s'en parle.
Ah.
Oh no!
T'as le malheur de
I love that grabless is even possible. It's so cool.
The grabless strat is jumping or hypering off of these autoscroller blocks as they spawn in because the spikes aren't loaded yet.
je grab
And so you can get your dash back and get some speed.
c'est un petit peu plus safe.
Alrighty, now he's in the cliff face, the rest of the cliff face where the wind is stronger than the rest of the chapter, and now you've got some snowballs being thrown at you. I don't know if they ever explained where those are coming from, but they're there. They being the dev.
Poor Madeline is getting pelted. Throw one back.
Ouais, tu vas trop.
If only. I want to throw snowballs in Celeste. Let me do that.
There's a crowd control mod that lets you do something like that.
Good. That's necessary, in my opinion.
Bah, en partie, ouais.
Pour moi, c'est un bon range, ça.
Ok. Je suis médisant. Est-ce que j'ai.
Alrighty, that's for it.
Est-ce que tu m'as dit que t'as eu peur que j'en ai eu raté une?
Bah, a priori, oui. Plus qu'à espérer.
Ça serait quand même
Après,
cool.
elle est 20 secondes dans le chapitre, donc.
29, c'est bon. Yes.
Et on est bon.
Je finis la tisane.
So headed into 4B, there's a bunch of auto scrollers in this level. Some of them are skippable. There's some big cycles that are skippable. Taz can actually do some really crazy skips in this level, but for the most part, you'll see some big cycle saves like this second room here. Okay, he missed it, but what you can do on entry there actually saves about 4 seconds over waiting for these platforms, which is crazy. That's a ton of time for.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest like strats in individual strats in the game.
backup, ouais, voilà.
Ouais, on est bon.
Donc là, par exemple, il suffit juste
What is this FFC? 4 town.
Et puis on peut boire un coup quoi.
Comment
Bon,
s'est
on va-
passée votre journée
Je peux même pas me reposer parce qu'il faut que je fasse des trucs quand même pour pas mourir.
Non, en vrai, on est super intéressant. Je trouve, à part les
Ah, il est cool, hein.
couleurs,
We got more of the wind and bubbles and clouds, but there actually won't be any snowballs featured in it.
dans ce niveau, je trouve super fun à faire. Mais bah,
Blake qui confond ce chapitre et 7B qui a la meilleure BO du jeu.
ah, là-dessus, on est parfaitement d'accord.
Yes.
Même si 4B est bien.
Non, oui,
mais,
4B,
7B,
4B est super. 7B, ouais.
I feel like I've only seen this B-side maybe once before.
Yeah.
Weird because I've seen like all the others at least a few times.
Il y en a eu quelques-uns à Awake, mais c'était moins grave.
A lot of people don't really enjoy this level. It's just like fair. There's a lot of auto scrollers and some weird.
Et du coup, bah, on fait un dash diagonal. Et le truc, c'est qu'au lieu
The track is also pretty polarizing. Some people really like how vibey it is or whatever, and other people just think it's repetitive. And it's a little bit divisive.
On skip un peu.
Here you can just skip that bottom block, just get some speed off of it, and then never look back. Is he going for the? Oh, is he going for the reverse at the end of this room? No.
Bah, il y avait une strat que je faisais avant.
Scary.
Il fallait pas jouer trigger. Parce que je faisais un reverse hyper au-dessus.
That was a bit nutty.
Mais je fais plus cette strat, donc oui, c'est vrai que je pourrais le trigger.
Après, c'est vrai que c'est plus safe, ça te laisse un peu de place.
I think that reverse ultra exit that he did saves like 0.2, if that.
Et donc voilà un autoscroller. Celui-là, pareil, on peut pas le skip à cause des pics, donc bah, on peut juste attendre.
I mean, it's a few frames. I'll take it.
Alors, en faisant un extended super. Ah, j'ai raté. Au niveau du nuage, on peut skip une petite partie.
Ouais, ça permet de garder notre dash, de skip le nuage du milieu. Hop,
Et un
et
autre.
Alright, in this next room, we'll see him skip these coins. There's a couple different ways you can do this. Traditionally, there's like a pixel that you can set up on and then do a jump. Looks like, yep, that's what he's going for. There's an alternate strat found recently where you can just sort of spam jumps up the wall, and if you time it correctly, you can then just up dash afterwards. It's a really cool strat that saves like a little bit precise.
il n'y a absolument aucune RNG dans le jeu.
Oui. C'était gentil de faire passer ma mort pour quelque chose d'utile, mais malheureusement.
And there's the B-side.
Going to 5A, there's a lot of berries in this next level, and it's a maze. Like casually, this level it's really cool, in my opinion.
Je crois que c'est à peu près pareil que celui de mon PB.
I agree.
C'est pas terrible, mais c'est pas mal.
Like 5A quite a bit. This is not a level you normally see in like regular any percent speedruns because 5B is actually faster.
Like quite a bit.
Savoir que les speedrunners ne savent pas boire d'eau.
So completing B sides unlocks the following A side. It's not really coming into play here because he's completing all of the A sides and then completing the B side. But there's a category called All Hearts. It uses that unintended mechanic.
Ce que je voulais faire, c'est pas très grave.
Je déteste cette strat. Je fais encore la strat de 2018 avec le.
Mais oui, mais elle est bien. Hein. Enfin, elle est. J'ai failli rater.
So this first section of this chapter, it's like this big hub with a lot of offshoots, and there's like 10 berries to get here. So he'll be here for a little bit, much longer than you'd see in a run that doesn't collect.
Oh yeah.
Enfin, à cause de la fraise de unraveling est genre immonde, mais tout le reste est sympa. Après, j'ai un petit faible quand même pour lui.
And a couple of these runs will feature some retry warps, just because it's faster to retry and get back to the start of the run than to actually move there yourself.
Ça marche pas.
Ouais, je suis pas sûr que ce soit le bon plan.
Ça marche pas souvent. Non, c'est pas ce que je voulais faire. Pardon.
C'est pas un reverse qu'il faut faire.
Moi, je fais pas de reverse.
Ah, ok. Après, la moitié de mes strats,
Mais,
pour avoir des
qu'est-ce
berries,
que
c'est un
je
petit
fais
peu.
Very can be a bit punished.
J'ai trouvé moi-même quand j'ai regardé le tableau. Donc...
You want to skip waiting for those blocks, but those spikes can get you.
C'est d'avoir un petit ultra chouette. Pas du tout. Ok.
Ah,
Deuxième miss.
l'ultra est compliqué. Hein.
Y a pas beaucoup de
Voilà,
place pour le faire.
parfait. Encore une fois, les frame coyotes. Après qu'il ait.
Voilà, j'ai fait. Il y a une strat chouette qui permet de sauter à travers les spikes, mais j'ai fait mon
t'étais
dash
pas sur
trop
la
tard.
bonne,
Ouais.
T'étais pas sur la bonne hauteur. Ouais. Hop, là pareil, on peut skip l'intégralité du tableau. Les extended, ça casse complètement le jeu. Je m'en rends compte. Je fais même plus gaffe à force parce que ça fait tellement longtemps que je m'en sers, mais.
Alrighty, and he's got one more berry in the top right here, and then he'll be out of this.
Enfin, genre la partie qu'on skip là de ce tableau avec la fraise.
This one's
Every time I
great.
watch 100% run of this game, I see something I didn't know was there before. Even if, like,
Yeah,
even though I've already watched a hundo run.
that berry is very out of the way.
Ouais, ça doit pas être.
All right, sorry, he's got this one last one in the hub here. So it's faster to get that last because you can do this ultra to leave.
Mais quand
I don't really know how much faster. But it's in the legs, it's straight.
Timer de ton espérance de vie, je pense. Tu sais, c'est comme les yeux dans Death Note où tu peux voir le nombre de temps qu'il reste à vivre.
c'est ça.
En fait c'était un timer de speedrun.
Alrighty. He's into depths where it's even darker than it was before. There's these lanterns that light up as you go past them. Or lights, I
Das le
guess.
fait, mais je ne le fais pas.
Ouais, c'est le task qui l'a
Je sais
fait.
pas
Je me disais bien
pourquoi.
qu'il y avait une entourloupe. Donc là, on n'est pas censé pouvoir dash, mais en fait, comme on a dash dans le tableau d'avant, on garde notre état de dash, ce qui fait qu'on peut quand même sauter et faire l'hyper dash et skip la moitié de la salle. Parce que du coup, la fraise ne s'en va pas.
Routing for this checkpoint is really tough. There's a lot, I guess, mostly Bye-Bye put a ton of time into routing exactly what order is fast for a lot of sections in this game. Actually, before we even had the speedrun tool, so he would do it by taking short videos and seeing how long they were. Because there's a ton of different options for how you do that. And you'll see tasks will do different orders for sections, and that takes a lot of timing. But yeah, for people, there's usually different strat sets that different things fast.
Qui met un timing assez bizarre et j'arrive jamais à dash au travers, perso.
Mais oui, enfin, je crois que je suis habitué maintenant. Mais...
In this cassette room, he's doing some dashes that actually save time IGT. They don't save any time RTA because the block cycles are based on the music and therefore not really connected with the in-game timer. But if you dash, the IGT freezes for 3 frames. So they don't slow down the music blocks, but they do slow down the timer.
Sauf savoir que le cycle n'est pas reset quand on meurt.
Those 3 frames add up. You know. I think you can get like 7 extra dashes in for that room. That's
It's sort of the
that's
opposite.
a third of a second, you know? That's pretty good for just dashing a few times.
Yeah. It's sort of the opposite of the Oshira thing we talked about.
Yeah. Sort of just waiting around, and if you do it differently, you save time.
Can I
Nice
do that
no
in-
dash there.
Can I do that in real life? Wait around differently and save time?
Exactement à hauteur maximale d'un hyper dash.
Ouais.
Donc il suffit que je fasse un extended hyper et que je fasse mon démo dash.
Alright, here we're going to see him go up through this little section for a key. This is necessary for the blue heart a little bit later on in the level.
Bah, c'est ça qui fait que tu peux juste... Parce qu'il y a des démo dash aussi qui sont set up par un hyper dash, genre celui à l'entrée de Towers.
And then one last bit.
Mais là, les pics sont à 4 pixels, donc c'est un petit peu plus précis.
I believe he should be at 115 after collecting this, if my math is correct. Nice.
Yep. There it is.
Ooh, so that skip he did there. You're not meant to be able to do that. So if you try to do that by just up dashing out of the bubble, it won't work. So what he did is he entered the bubble in a crouch state, which moves you up like 2.5 pixels, I believe, because it tries to center you. And then you can up dash, and then if you hold right at a specific time and climb jump, you're able to skip going around that room. And then here, what he does is a very precise corner kick off of that wall to skip going through that room. And that's actually sub-pixel dependent. So even if you're on the right pixel, you will not get it all of the time. So couple tricky strats here in this section to skip a couple rooms. Or parts of a couple rooms, I suppose.
Ouais, mais c'est un truc hallucinant. C'est comme les setups de Zelda Ocarina, c'est tu dois dasher 3 fois.
And he's into unraveling. We've got an unskippable cutscene essentially here, where you drive a seeker and kill Madeline.
I did not want to do this casually.
Yeah.
Du coup, c'est quand que Celeste obtient l'Ace.
That fade in from when you skip the cutscene in depths to when you have control of the seeker is almost 10 seconds, by the way. 10 seconds of just sitting there, which for this game is quite a bit. I know there are a lot of other speedruns that have unskippable cutscenes, and so I probably sound like a spoiled brat saying 10-second cutscene, wow! But that's a lot for this game.
Et donc là, on va.
I mean, that's what Celeste is known for, right? Just
Yeah.
consistent action everywhere.
For
So
sure.
when you have a break for 10 seconds, that's not normal.
And then, I mean, even after that, you're controlling this like unwieldy fish creature thing.
Non, moi j'appelle ça.
If that cutscene were skippable, actually, 5A would probably be about as fast as 5B for any. Which is just sort of an interesting think piece.
Enfin, après, ça dépend, ils sont très gentils des fois parce qu'ils
Ouais.
activent les pièces pour nous.
You're going to notice that Seekers can basically activate these coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there he. Oh, that's a punishing death. He bops this one to get the first coin of the row.
Voilà, Unraveling, qui est une section qui, je trouve,
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
très très fun à faire quand ça passe.
Lots of neat Seeker strats like that you'll see.
Yeah, especially in 5B, you use them quite a bit to sort of manipulate what you're able to do in the row. With B-sides having much less like ground in general, things you can get your dash back on become more valuable.
C'est
bah,
marrant,
décidément,
tout le temps
je l'ai
des
fait
membres
2 fois.
vraiment bizarres.
Mais oui. Allez, courage.
Et donc là, il y a un Bubs Drop à faire qui ne sauve absolument pas de temps, qui ne sert absolument à rien
C'est
en
vrai.
100%. Ça sert que en bingo. Et encore, ça économise même.
Alrighty, and into search, this section is even more of a maze than the first. You've got these keys to open doors, and
Mais oui.
everything's all dark and not lit up, and you just sort of got to wander around casually. But of course, he will know exactly where he's going, and he's got a route planned out.
Laquelle Ah oui, le.
Le reverse.
Grand électron.
And the key he's collected is actually not for the doors that you'll see normally, but for a berry later on.
Donc le principe de search, normalement, c'est qu'on est censé récupérer plein de clés dans plein d'endroits différents. Pour, bon là, on les voit pas parce que sinon, bah, on va perdre notre clé, mais le but est de prendre une bulle.
It's a cheeky ultra out of the bubble,
En fait, on n'a pas besoin de cette bulle.
and then you jump off the wall.
Juste
It's got a good visual cue, actually.
Juste lui là, sur mon écran.
I love how this section of the game looks. They do so much visually.
Yeah.
Just make the atmosphere perfect.
Chaque fois, je pars trop tôt là.
Ouais, bah le.
Sort of as he wraps up these last couple runs, he's headed into a section where you have to carry the second main character, Theo, and a crystal. So there's been some cutscenes with him throughout the rest of the run that we've skipped. But here you've got to carry him to the end of the level.
Ça date vraiment du tout début du jeu.
Bah c'est ça. Hein. Parce que plus personne ne run 5.
Movement with Theo can get pretty crazy.
Yeah. So normally ultras, you've got to be about 4 tiles above the ground, I think, because your dash needs to end. Otherwise, you'll get a hyper. Your dash needs to end before you hit the ground. But with Theo, you can actually cancel your dash state. And so you can sort of release him, hyper, and then ultra into the ground. And if you grab him, you can actually retain the momentum from that ultra, even though you're not high enough to get a tradition.
En fait,
So that allows you to sort of get a lot of speed from nowhere. And you can bunny hop to preserve.
sauf que si notre dash il est cancel par autre chose et qu'on
Here, this block makes you go zoom.
on peut récupérer Enfin, en fait, le jeu attend qu'on retouche le sol pour nous.
Block makes you go zoom is a good way to describe some stuff in this game.
Yeah. In TAS, actually, there's a way to get 4 boosts from that block, which allows you to just clip through the spikes in the next row. But it's definitely not an RTA viable strat. Oh, that Seeker was on a mission.
These Seekers are real mean today.
Yeah. Hopefully that does not persist into the next level that he's going to play.
I don't know what Hiken did to them, but you better apologize.
Sinon, c'est une horreur. Parce que
There we go. Theo hits the eyeball, and then you're done. I'm not sure what that means to the lore of the game, but you're out.
Alors,
Et le passage clé.
donc en fait, quand on
Yeah, you can see 31 berries. That's actually the most of any chapter outside of some.
il y a des plateformes qui nous empêchent de descendre. Sauf que sur certaines plateformes, ça dépend de la hauteur où elle est placée, mais on peut
Which makes sense if you've seen Summit. So
arriver à redescendre par la transition. Et donc là, il va faire ça à un endroit où il est pas trop censé faire ça, à une room un petit peu bizarre. Donc merci, je crois que c'est Demo qui a trouvé l'application.
And in the 5B, we've got a jazzy remix of the 5A theme.
Donc dans juste un instant.
And coming up here, we'll see a strat where, if it goes well, he will drop back down to a room transition that you're not meant to. Oh, so that's a 2-frame window to release jump. This is one of the more precise frame windows of the game, and it saves like 20 seconds before grabbing a key. I'm not entirely sure exactly, but it's quite a bit. There we go, second try. So the way buffer systems in this game work, you have 5 frames to buffer most inputs. And you can do that into a screen transition, but the release has to be after the transition, because if you release the input before you can actually press it according to the game, the input will get dropped. So you can't release it before you enter the room, but you have to have it released by the second frame that you're technically in the room with control of metal. So definitely a precise timing window. And there's really not much of a good visual cue. It's just sort of when the screen transition ends.
given that there's not a visual cue, I am a little bit surprised at how consistent some people are with it.
Yeah, you get a feel for it.
C'est vraiment très très rapide, juste à cause du spike jump et de l'autre reverse qui skip la porte.
On va se servir de notre ami le Seeker.
And he's headed into one of the most inconsistent sections of the game, in my opinion. Seems like every room here you can get screwed over by Seekers or just some weird jump going wrong.
Pour les gens sarcasmes,
This one in particular, you manipulate the Seeker to be in just the right spot at just the right time. At 2 points in the room, actually.
c'est juste que c'est tellement précis que bon.
And if you haven't seen the Theo section 5B yet, you're in for a treat.
C'est vraiment une phase B qui est très très rapide.
Le timer a reset par contre quand je suis retourné à la map.
Ouais, il faut
Après avoir
rajouter
Yeah, there's some cool strats here. Got a couple Theo Ultras. This gauntlet room is pretty involved. 4 individual sections, each with a Seeker. Sort of got to keep Theo moving through.
Ça prend à peu près 4 minutes 30, 4 minutes 20. Aller à la cassette, ça prend 1 minute 10 à peu près. Donc
Ouais.
le calcul est vite fait pour any percent.
And he's pretty much out. He got a weird jump from one of those blocks.
That was almost a sick recovery, but
Et voilà pour 5B.
Ok.
Et nous allons attaquer le pire niveau du jeu, 6A.
J'aime bien si ça moi.
Je déteste
C'est
ce
quoi,
niveau, mais
c'est
tu sais
ça
que quand j'avais un 35 en any percent, je renais déjà 6B parce que
Alrighty, into chapter 6. We got no red berries here. So he's probably just going to grab the cassette and the heart and then finish out the A side and then the B side.
Je meurs beaucoup.
More recently, in any percent, it's become more common for people to actually play 6B. It doesn't save nearly as much as 5B, but it definitely can save time if you're good at it.
it's actually slower RTA, I believe.
Yeah. And of course, it'll depend on how good each of your chapters are. Like for instance, 6A is one of my strongest chapters. So I don't think 6B would be worth for me for a long time. But if your 6A is slow, 6B can save more. And a lot of people will start playing 6B for other categories. It's used in pretty much every other main category because it's useful for ARB because it gets you a heart, it saves more time. It's required for all chapters and 100%, and all hearts requires it. And so it's just like it's a good level to be good at if you want to know more of the game than anybody. And then once you've learned it for those chapters, it might just save time for you there.
Alors, c'est un chapitre qui n'a pas de Fred. C'est le seul chapitre qui n'a pas de Fred. Je sais pas.
This cassette room can be broken in a number of different ways, but it's a pretty precise entry strat.
En fait, les devs voulaient pas qu'on puisse. Enfin, les devs voulaient.
I just want to say that the strats for that cassette room have some of the best names for strats I've ever seen.
So I believe Revolution, his Twitch name is misspelled. I don't know why. Anyway, he was, I believe, the first person to theory craft strats for that room, and then another Brazilian runner, Problem Stroll, sort of found the most common strat that was used for a while. I think it was called Revo's Nonsense, even though I think Problem Stroll was the one who found it. But, and then sort of variations spawned from that. I think Marlon did a different one that was slightly faster. Bubs had a version that had a corner boost at the end that was even faster than that. And Evan's fight had a strat that got called Scott's Sensibility, which is fun.
Yeah, just Revo's Nonsense and Scott's Sensibility are such good strat names. I can't. I wish Monkey Ball had some strat names like that.
I believe the task actually has to slow down to not clip through the cassette in that, which is
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's quite the room, honestly. There's a lot that goes into that one. So moving through 6A, we're into hollows, and after this room there will be 5 or 6 paths that diverge where you can go top or bottom. And I think for the most part you'll see top route because it's just faster. I think there's only one road where bottom route is faster. Yeah, this is a cool section. It's got a lot of inconsistent stuff. So it's definitely one of the reasons people will switch to 6B in categories like any percent. There's like 2 rooms in particular. But definitely one of the reasons to play 6A is the battle line fight, which we'll get to in like a minute and a half here.
I was talking about how Ridge was probably my least favorite casual level. This one was probably my favorite.
Yeah, this level, it's a really cool point in the story. It's sort of all of the doubts that Madeline has been having throughout the rest of the game sort of come to a head here. And a very large and extended ball.
One that feels very satisfying to complete.
Yeah, I mean, the way the game is broken up into, like, the platforming challenges in this game are handled by having really hard movement, but broken into small enough chunks that it's manageable by most people. And the same is definitely true for this boss fight. Probably even more so, actually. It's sort of you're fighting battle line, and you'll hit her, and then she'll move, and then you've got another small section of the room until you hit her again, and then do that for a few times, and then you're into the next room. It's segmented.
Deuxième chose, il faut savoir que si la frame on touche un bumper, on maintient la direction opposée, ça nous fait aller 2 fois plus loin. Et donc le fait de passer au travers des bumpers comme ça, c'est une...
You got some dev-intended skips in this room here. We'll take that one and then go to the left here because taking this checkpoint is, I believe, faster optimally by a couple of tenths of a second.
Ça, pareil, ça a été mis par les devs pour les speedrunners. Il y a plein de petits clins d'œil comme ça.
Again, save the frames.
Yeah. And a short water section. Call out to the fact that this level was intended to be a water level originally. Thank God it's not. Just not work.
Oh man, yeah.
faut savoir que les devs ont appris l'existence du démo dash.
There you can. Oh, he retries, but you can hyper bunny hop off of that Kevin block and get some big speed into this first battle line room.
Yeah, people usually call that battle and boost.
Yep. The way that moving things work with this game is that you can jump or dash, and they will give you extra speed. And so the initial hyper gives you 1 boost from the block, and then the bunny hop afterwards gives you a 2nd boost. And if he were to ultra after the block immediately after jumping, I think 9 frames he's got after leaving the block, you would actually get a 3rd boost. It wouldn't be helpful because you'd be dashing down into the void, but you'd move quickly.
Il y avait un énorme skill qui avait été vu dans 5B avant que le Babs Drop soit découvert. Et il y a eu une discussion assez chauffée, on va dire.
C'était beaucoup de drama.
And yeah, now we're in the battle line boss fight.
I like how he just ignores most of these blocks falling from the ceiling.
Yeah. You can usually beat most of them out of the room.
Quand le démo dash a été découvert, pareil, ils ont décidé de le laisser dans le jeu parce que ça donnait des trucs assez marrants. Et du coup, ils ont mis des rooms qui étaient accessibles seulement avec des démo dash dans le DLC après. Qu'on fera juste après la phase B du 8ème niveau.
Ouais, il y en a un aussi qui a été rajouté après
Ouais, dans 6B.
la sortie dans 6B, donc on va le voir plus tôt.
So she's got these lasers and fireball attacks. And she'll get another power here in a little bit, sort of telekinesis over these moving blocks.
Il y a quand même que 2 frames pour le.
But for the most part, you just don't need to interact with them, because usually you can get to her fast enough that she can't actually do much.
Yeah, Battlein kind of gets destroyed here. This is a very one-sided fight.
Yeah, it may take you a little bit longer than this on your first playthrough. The speedrun is definitely more about sort of slamming into her face repeatedly.
Je fais n'importe quoi.
C'est vrai que c'est le genre de.
Battlein is a part of Madeline, but clearly not the speedrunning part.
I've thought about how it would feel to be here. It's just, it doesn't seem like it would feel good. You're just kind of vibing in this section, and then just anything you do, and the girl shows up in your face and moves you on to the next bit.
It's gotta feel like a level 2 fighting like a level 70 in Pokemon or something. What do you even do?
There we go, getting through that last room unscathed. That's a really long one. Punishing deaths can happen from a few different points there. Oh wow, that was cool. What he did there is he somehow got the checkpoint but retried before getting to the cutscene trigger. So he retried and spawned right next to the checkpoint. Or cutscene.
Donc là on voit que je viens de level.
After a short climb, he's out of 6A.
Comme vous avez vu quand on montrait la tech avant la run, maintenant je peux faire 2 dash.
Alright, nicely done.
Normally you'd head into Summit at this point, but he's going to play 6B.
Ça a l'air malade, mais ça a l'air très très drôle en tout cas.
Definitely one of the harder levels in the game.
Ouais, faut être bien coordonné.
Je pense que ça fait partie des trucs que j'aimerais bien essayer un jour juste pour me taper des grosses barres.
Bon, Summit. Alors, Summit, c'est un chapitre.
Or not.
Oh, or not.
Wait, okay.
I guess he's breaking from his formula a little bit here. Well, he'll need to do it at some point, but that's okay. Again, the route is pretty lenient. No need to do specific levels at any given time. Oh, Nero setup. Okay, so what he did there is he dashes down right past the corner and then does a demo dash through those spikes. That's really cool. There's a few different ways to set up that demo, but that's my favorite. It just looks so wild. You dash down at a corner and then just go through spikes.
I wanted to say something. I didn't even know what to say. There were no words. No words were going to come out of my mouth there. No matter what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, there's another setup where you can down dash sort of along the wall and then move down 1 pixel and do a demo. But it's slower actually. And people have different prices.
Et en fait, elle a
He doesn't forget the gem here. In Summit, you need to collect 6 crystal gems that in the final section sort of come together to form the heart.
J'ai aussi le cœur du Summit qui est. Oh, j'ai pas fait 6B. Oui, j'ai oublié 6B.
That's neat, considering Summit is already basically a mishmash of the rest of the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, canonically, you get thrown down the mountain by Battle Line in Reflection and then have to climb it again. Sort of, this is the expression of that. It's this compilation of levels, sort of, that's all harder and designed for having 2 dashes. And in this run, 7-8, it's a beast of a level. I think at top level play, this level takes like 13 minutes, which is longer than just about anything else in the game. I think, with the exception of Farewell. You've got 47 red berries to collect, 6 of these gems, and you've got to sit around for the heart, and then, like I said, just a ton of content.
Personne, Thomas, qui rejoint la Team Blade sur.
It's crazy how much they pack into these levels.
C'est ça.
S'il n'y a pas de 6B, il n'y a
Ça.
pas de démodage.
Voilà.
C'est mathématique.
Tu avais raison de dire qu'il était frais, on n'a même pas à le faire.
Hop, donc là, un tout petit jump.
One more berry, and then he'll be out of the Forsaken City themed section.
Graphic block, zipper block.
Un bloc de feu de signalisation.
Merci.
The music in this level, actually, again, on that topic of music changing, there's a different like section of the track for every portion of this level. It sort of makes it feel like it's evolving as you go again.
Si on a que un dash, bon bah on fait un hyper dash en sortant, puis après bah on.
I think my personal favorite is probably the 2,500 meter track, which is sort of unfortunate because it's like the worst section to speedrun because everything is so inconsistent. But it's a really nice atmospheric part of the song.
Tu prends pas Badlin
Ouais, c'est
à
ça.
la fin de chaque truc.
T'essayes,
Il y a toujours un
t'explores.
truc c'est ça. Il y a toujours un truc coincé derrière, mais je crois dans tous les. Il y a que dans.
Oh no.
2000, il y a une fraise. Temple, il y a.
Dream Blocks can be a little bit weird.
3.
Donc là, pareil, les Dream Blocks qui bougent nous font garder leur inertie. Ce qui est encore une fois très sympa à jouer. Voilà pour la gemme de 1000 mètres. Thomas qui a un trou.
Waouh.
Je valide ce jeu de mots.
L'humour
Et je
est
valide
présent.
aussi ce
I gotta say, this is a great run to pick for the finale.
C'est gentil de l'avoir fait remarquer. Oups.
It's pretty cool one.
It's a good length, a good show overall throughout the entire run.
C'est même plus la strat la plus rapide maintenant.
C'est vrai, mais j'ai jamais réussi à faire l'autre. J'ai jamais compris dans quel sens les gens faisaient les dashs.
Ah, tu sais, en vrai, tu sautes, tu dashes et puis voilà.
C'est trop pour moi.
Celeste in a nutshell. Hop.
Oh, je suis allé trop
C'est
tôt.
bon. Ah, il fait pas le démo, c'est
Non.
dommage.
Did he go for the demo there? I didn't see.
J'ai raté l'autre.
Don't think so. Excuse me.
You
Maybe.
can reverse hyper here and demo through those spikes. But that's actually not the hard part of the strat. The hard part of the strat is getting your timing right so that your next dash moves you up through the platform. And the way that works is every frame you're inside a platform while dashing, the game will move you up 1 pixel. It's a bit of a weird mechanic, but it allows you to essentially dash along them and get moved up through.
Bien fait de l'avoir collecté avant. Alors là, il y a un skip raté. C'est même pas celui-là dont je voulais parler.
Cool cycle. Oh, he got it and then fell back down.
C'était pas gentil.
You sort of want to skip going to the right here And you can do that with 2 diagonal dashes. Oh no!
There we go.
Oh, he's going for the gamer cycle in this room too. Okay. You can do a right dash there and then a wave dash off of that blue block platform, which allows you to skip a cycle. Again, with the sort of resort Dust Bunny theme, there's cycles in a lot of rooms. And the strats can be dependent on those. This room, for instance, has a really brutal fast cycle getting that berry. It's even harder coming from the tape room, I believe. Oh, he got that demo! What? He's insane.
Ça c'est cool. Pas évident.
Mais à chaque fois que je vois des démos comme ça me fait serrer les fesses. Parce que
Bah,
Very nice gem room cycle too. These are some cool strats. Catch me taking notes right now.
Il est pas évident celui-là, il n'y a pas vraiment de setup,
c'est la limite de la flex.
Les instructions de Bubba qu'il a sur son guide, c'est extend this a little and then try this. Mais il fait pas perdre beaucoup de temps si jamais on rate, donc je tente.
Here, if you down dash off that spring, you can get that berry without doing the main platforming challenge of that room.
Ouais. Là, pour le nombre de fois où
They had a
And
cursor
then
in there.
again, what?
They had a cursor in the screen for a little bit, and I was gonna point it out. It was gonna be like, if I have to live with it, then y'all do too. But they got rid of it. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes. What were you saying?
That winged berry, just like a lot of the other ones, has a strat that involves dashing to activate it and then getting to it before it disappears. So you saw he actually like dashed going up to that last spring, and then since it starts so low in the room, he's actually able to beat it up to the top right corner, and then retry to get back to the beginning of the room.
clairement.
Oh, the cursor's back.
Parce qu'il faut savoir que ce que vous voyez là, c'est.
No, go away, cursor.
Alrighty, short detour for this gem, and then returning the map to get back to the start of the gem.
On retourne à la carte parce que c'est plus rapide.
On fait 6B et on revient.
I love the return to map strats in this game.
I think technically there's a strat that's faster than that return to map, but it involves like demo hyper off of a moving block, and you have like negative amount of space to make it work. So it's
Seems
usually
easy
just
enough.
easier to return to map there.
Just nail it first try, forehead.
Yeah, of course, if you die doing that, you're already losing time.
Ouais, clairement.
What?
T'es trop.
Alors, je demande un replay parce que t'étais littéralement sur la plateforme.
Mais en fait, ces plateformes.
I believe that was auto scroller skip you just saw.
Yes. You can skip that auto scroller in a couple different ways, and that is one of the faster ones.
I would say what people affectionately call it, but I can't.
Man, I'm realizing how cool like every winged room is. So there again, you sort of dash to activate the winged berry and then get to it before it disappears. And this seeded berry, you can again abuse how the refreshes and seeds work to get dashes back, and not collect the seed.
Il est assez long. La durée de vie, c'est une assez grosse durée de vie par rapport au nombre de niveaux pour un platformer, simplement parce que le jeu est tellement.
And in this room, you'll see a demo. So that comes from buffering. Oh, he got the berry and then dashed down left. That comes from buffering 2 dashes out of the bubble. You can just upright, and right dash, and you'll get through those spikes.
Pour le montrer 2 fois, on s'en lasse pas.
Some of it just gets so crazy. I love it.
Personnellement, je trouve le timing assez naturel. Ah, dommage. J'allais dire un petit démonage, mais c'est pas bien grave.
Alright, headed into the next checkpoint. It's actually kind of hard to route for getting everything. So I believe you'll see him get a berry to the right and then retry to get back to the left, because getting to the gem requires you going into a bubble in a room to the left of where you start here. And
Ah ouais, d'accord, donc en fait, tu n'as pas
You need to get this berry first before you can do that. There you go. There you go. So yeah, there's a berry room to the left here, and then a red bubble. That red bubble in the room it makes it just look like it's used to get the berry, but if you take it all the way to the right here, there's a secret path, and you need to go here to get the heart.
Apparemment, on peut aussi être un alpha mâle et faire cette technique.
Another thing I was not aware of, despite definitely having watched a Honda run before.
Yeah. That gem room, by the way, is pretty long and difficult. Oh, okay. So what you're going to see here is a cool route difference that was found recently. If you get this key and put it in the door and then do this movement, it'll actually unlock the door before you need to go there. So that'll save some time later because now the door is already. So I think Marlon found that recently, and you can just take this bubble and get it out.
It's a lot like what we saw in Resort, almost like an hour ago at this point.
Yeah, very similar. I think Marlon had the idea to do that from Bub's labbing that Resort order. Bub's being bye-bye.
Je crois que c'est toujours lui qui a le record sur Farewell.
Non, sur Farewell, il était pris récemment par.
A lot of alternate orders for this, or rooms and orders for this section, and then there's 3 berries here in the last room.
Ouais, All Art, je crois qu'il a le record, effectivement.
Et True Ending.
Alors que
True Ending, ouais.
quand même, c'est assez populaire.
Ouais.
True Ending. Il a tué la catégorie.
And after this, he'll be into 3K.
Donc là, il y a 2 toutes petites enclaves.
I didn't ask him if he did this beforehand, but there's a cool save and quit you can do for this heart that we might see.
Ouais.
Suppose we'll find out.
About 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
Faudrait vérifier. Parce qu'il y a de plus en plus de monde qui run le hundo.
Ouais, mais pré-DLC, pas beaucoup.
So if you've gotten all the gems, you can go to this little gap in the right here. And yes, we're going to see. So what he did is he started those gems activating and then went to the left here to grab that flag. And what that allows him to do is save and quit. And then when he comes back, he's at flag 27.
That's beautiful.
So it not only skips the heart animation, but it also saves some backtrack. And that gem cutscene is pretty long. You're just like waiting there for 10 seconds otherwise. So that's a nice way to use your time. And it saves a few seconds.
I really love strats like that. Just certain routing quirks you wouldn't think of normally.
Yeah. It's viable for tasks to actually make it up to flag 26. But that's not usually faster for humans because 1, it's harder to actually like get up there and back. And 2, even if you manage to do that, doing it fast enough to actually be back at the heart and still save time with it is tricky.
Oups, j'étais un peu trop ambitieux.
Go to flag 1, come back, forehead. I don't even think you can.
Yeah, you definitely can't.
C'est assez stylé, mais qu'est-ce que je n'aime pas.
Ouais, elle a l'air assez awkward à exécuter.
A few more berries here, and then I don't know what he's going to play. He might go into core, he might go back and play 6-7B. We'll see. Berries actually get pretty sparse here for the last couple minutes. You've got 2 right here at flag 16 and 15, and then the next one is not until flag 4.
Bon, en 100%, la run n'est pas morte, parce que c'est une catégorie qui est très longue, mais en any percent, tu es super dans ce monde. Ta run.
Just some linear level completion.
We haven't seen a lot of that this run.
Probably about a full minute of it. I don't know.
Un petit jump aidé par le vent pour passer cette pique.
Strat's looking very nice through this section. Movement and updraft can be weird. It's it's naturally more floaty. So like the wind that you see in Ridge gets turned up and down in 3K. So downdraft pushes you down, and it actually, in general, makes things faster because you're able to land sooner and get more speed from bunny hops, et cetera, and actually like jump off spikes. Upwind, on the other hand, makes it floatier, and there's more time between when you do strats. And with how air friction works, that generally makes things slower.
Parce que ce setup est immonde et que je le déteste du plus profond de mon âme.
Bunny hops will usually give you a plus 40 speed. So when you do a hyper bunny hop normally, you've got 7 frames between, well, if you're doing a 1-frame jump for the hyper, you've got 7 frames before you can land again. But in downwind, that's reduced to 4 because the wind pushes you down. And so you get that plus 40 much sooner and you're moving fast. But then upwind, even longer. So it just gives you a little bit less speed. And there we go. He has climbed Celeste Mountain.
Sinon, ça aurait été un PB Summit.
Mon PB, il est un summit.
But as you can see, we are nowhere near finished.
Yep. Got about an hour left of this run.
Yeah, probably
Just got
something
to
like
play
that.
6B, 7B, 8A, 8B, and then the Seasides and Farewell. So there's a lot left yet to.
Ouais. Effectivement. 6B est bien aussi en vrai.
Ouais, c'est très très chill. À la différence du niveau.
I really enjoy how much bonus content this game has. Like, it can be a short game.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is like purely optional for just like playing the game. Yeah.
Ouais, c'est ça. Il y a des spikes partout, donc dès que je dévie un petit peu de la route.
It's crazy because even like just doing the A sides is a satisfying experience. But then you get to play all this other stuff should you choose.
Hop, donc là on n'a pas besoin de se Kevin, on peut juste prendre la plume et sauter ici.
Cet écran que je déteste
Ouais,
de
moi
tout
aussi.
mon cœur, il n'a pas d'intérêt. Voilà, va-t'en.
Tu sais que je perds.
So this checkpoint that is in 6B start is one of the most inconsistent in the game, along with like that 5B checkpoint I mentioned. It just with bumpers being the way they are, every room can sort of kill you in weird ways. I believe
Like that.
bumpers will launch you in 8 different directions, but they have idle movement. So if you hit them in just the wrong spot or do the room a little bit differently, you will just go off in a very wrong direction for very small differences.
Santé mentale à beaucoup de gens.
He makes it through mostly unscathed.
Là, c'est une phase où on descend continuellement et le plus grand gain de temps par rapport au strat normal, c'est de faire des dashs diagonaux à la place de dash.
And as you can see, we're gearing up for another battle and fight.
Yep. So this section is like a dozen rooms of this descent that I believe they intended to be in the A side, but thankfully moved to this chapter.
Ça te fait gagner genre 15 secondes.
It's weird. I've heard people describe this as sort of not like anything else in the game, and like the skills that you get from speedrunning, most of it just like won't help you here. That sort of makes a little bit of sense. It's a strange section to speedrun. You optimize it by doing a lot of precise down diagonal dashes and fast falling everywhere you can. There are also dash refresh strats off of Kevin blocks. It's a tough one to run, that's for sure. Oh, right. There's a demo here that they expanded a gap between these spikes here. I'm not entirely sure why, but this saves a couple of seconds if you can get it first try. It was possible to do before the farewell patch, but then they made it larger after that.
Et pas difficile, mais très stressante, parce que c'est un écran long et on vient juste de faire un trick difficile.
Reprieve.
That descent being so much different makes sense. I mean, normally you're climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
Donc là on a un checkpoint avec Badlin qui est dans 6A et 6B on a un en plus avec je crois les 5 dernières rooms.
And we're into the battle line fight again.
On va essayer de feather skip.
Oh, I heard the word feather skip. Oh, he's going for it. Oh, and he gets it. That's a real cool strat. That says like second and a half.
Let's go.
So you've got to keep that dash crystal there, and then you're able to do a left dash and up dash. I don't think you wall bounced. I don't remember. There's been a few different versions of that over the course of the last year.
Donc voilà, un petit peu lentement avec la plume parce que ça va très vite.
Then after this room, he'll be into Reprieve, one of the other inconsistent checkpoints of this level.
Donc rien de fancy sur cet écran, je joue safe.
C'est du platforming. Et là on entre dans le fameux Reprieve. Donc
I believe this is called Reprieve because of this room, but like this section is very not much a reprieve in the speedrun. There's a lot of hard tricks here. So here, oh, okay, he's not dead, not yet at least. You can get an ultra off of that block by jumping and then downright dashing.
That was a nice save.
Yeah, normally you don't want to hit the bumper like that, but it works.
eh bien, je vais me sentir flatté.
And here you're gonna skip these coins. And then this next room is just brutal. It's really long. There's a lot of tight sections. There's a bumper that can mess you up right here. But it looks like he is through unscathed. And this last room is just as brutal. It's a really long feather room, which I guess we never really talked about, but these feathers accept analog control if you're on controller. On keyboard, you've only got the 8 directional inputs, but they're a little bit unwieldy. I don't know. Oh man. Okay, he also goes for Neurocycle in this room. So, oh no, he dies at the end. So what you can do there is you can get a corner boost off of the blue L-shaped block as it disappears. And that allows you to skip the cycle over what you can normally get.
Ouais, c'est pas grave, le backup qui passe. 5-0-2 pour un 6B.
Bon, pour un marathon, c'est...
Nicely done. Nicely done. Some unfortunate deaths, but it's a pretty hard chapter.
Yeah, I mean, 6B in a marathon setting doesn't surprise me too much.
And going into an even longer chapter that's just as hard. 7B is, in my opinion, one of the coolest speedruns in this game. You don't see it a ton, but there's so many cool strats in this level. And just seeing someone really tear apart this level is really cool.
Il y a Transport dans le chat qui dit que tu es un runner de qualité.
C'est très gentil.
Also the track, I love the track for this level. It's just like, it's this slow build. It really vibes. I like it a lot.
Voilà pour la première partie. Ah.
Un peu gourmand sur ce dash.
Ouais. Donc savoir que 7D est un petit peu plus court, c'est 3 ou 4 screens par pas plus.
Depending upon the strats you do, this next checkpoint can actually be one of the hardest in this chapter.
Ça c'est bien joué ça.
Pas de bon jeu sans bonne musique. Et ouais, et Celeste a une OST
absolument fabuleuse.
Ouais.
Ooh, wow. Saving the dash there for the end of the room.
He made that look so easy. What the heck?
On va zoom au travers de la moitié, mais... Ah, dommage.
Since it plays a factor in that role, something about springs is that, or in that row, something about springs is that they will reset your momentum. So in a lot of cases, you want to avoid them where possible. Because if it's like a vertical spring, for instance, it'll kill your horizontal speed. If it's a horizontal spring, it'll cap you at 240, I believe, for a bit. But you can use them to recover.
Yeah, if you've seen somebody play any percent, you'll know. And at the end of Old Sight in the Awake section, if they hit a spring, it just destroys their momentum. It sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Hitting a spring there can cost like 1 or 2 seconds. Depends on if you're able to recover.
Hop, et voilà, on est déjà au dernier, donc encore une fois une B-side un petit peu gourmand.
And in this last room, we've got a climb with dream blocks.
Là j'ai raté mon double saut, du coup je suis obligé de
And then he will be into another tricky section. It's sort of the theme of this level. 1500 meters is there's some tough cycles in this section.
Retour des cycles de l'enfer avec la partie resort.
Alors, autant j'aime beaucoup 1500 mètres dans la phase.
Oh, going into that dust bunny, nice. And very nice cycle in that second half of the room.
C'est Satan en personne qui a design ces cycles.
C'est vrai. Plutôt d'accord. Notamment le dernier écran qui
Skill of these runners never fails to impress me.
Wow, that was nice. That was really good. Very good section.
Un de ces écrans que soit tu l'as du premier coup, soit tu mets 10 fois et ta run est...
Some of those rooms, if you don't have a good death cycle on hand, you just want to leave if you die because those cycles are brutal.
Ouais. Après, cet auto-scroller, pour le coup, il est plutôt bien placé parce que ça fait une petite pause dans la run.
C'est vrai.
Pour une run qui est très pleine en action dans cette...
This snowball can be really trolly.
Nous sommes encore une fois des professionnels. Aucune place n'est laissée.
Oh no.
Toutes les morts sont calculées, ont été
Is he going for a wall bounce here?
le meilleur taux de divertissement possible.
Oh, he is. Nice. So you can normally you'll just dash up to each of those blocks, but you can also do that wall bounce. I don't know how much it saves actually. I've been meaning to time that and practice it because it's a cool one.
C'est très très technique.
So now into 2,500 meters here, you can get a lot of speed from all of these swap blocks, dash blocks, whatever.
Je me mets au premier écran, donc ce sera pas les...
This is one of my favorite sections in the entire game. I just have it. It's a ton of fun running these tricks.
Le premier écran, c'est un mensonge. Voilà, Deathless hein, pour l'instant.
Oups, Deathless.
Ouf, Deathless. Non, mais...
Wow, tried to get that last crystal, looks like.
Oh yeah, that's precise. And saves like 0.4 or something. It looks. Oh man.
Second try is it? I'm just glad we got to see it.
Yeah, it's cool. 10 seconds into a room, you know,
Je l'ai déjà fait, je sais le faire.
doing a really precise skip to save less than half a second.
Lots of respect for trying to pull that out in the marathon.
En fait, on a fait de la SRM.
Here, skipping flag 19 saves like a second. I don't like this. I don't do that personally. It's just such awkward movement.
Hop, la partie 3000 mètres qui est extrêmement fun, surtout le début. Cette section.
She's actually going for like a lot of really hard stuff, it looks like.
Ouais. Bah, c'est ma partie préférée de cette art.
Nice. Through flag 15. Flag 15 can actually be one of the harder flags. There's some dashes there that have some tight frame windows, and there's really not much you can do to change.
Pour être surprenamment.
You'll hear people complain about this flag a lot because of this cloud, but in my opinion, it's not too bad. He's through first try.
Les frame coyotes pour arriver à passer assez à gauche.
So that cloud is one of the more precise things in the game. If you're able to get some coyote time, you got 5 frames after leaving the ground. So you can like walk off the cloud and then jump. And if you do that, you've got a lot more space to work with. But that's the fact that that's the way I handle that is sort of an indication for how it might be casual. That it's very precise, and a lot of people struggle with that casual play.
Ce flag 13 en casu, je m'en souviens encore. Ouais, il est parti.
I imagine a lot of people struggle with most of this level in casual play.
Yeah, I think it took me over 4 hours or something.
Ce flag aussi.
A lot of these flags are just really hard. And the level itself is not as long as 7-8, but with every room being difficult, it can definitely take you a while. And here the game teaches you about wall bounces, which he's been doing this whole run, where you dash up along a wall and then jump. Here's where they finally tell you about that.
Je trouve ça vraiment sympa la manière dont le jeu
So the developer is saying, "You think you knew how this game worked? Yeah. How about this mechanic? Try this." And then you'll also see he did a demo dash through spikes on flag 3 that that sets itself up perfectly from a max height hyper dash.
Non, j'aurais pas dû y aller.
What is he going for?
I was about to ask you the
Is he-
same question.
Is he trying
So-
to skip? Oh, okay, he's skipping the third cloud. Yeah, that's tough.
I was gonna say, if even you don't know, uh-oh.
I'm just surprised he's doing that in a full run.
Yeah, no kidding.
I learned that for like segment practice of this level, and then dropped it for full ILs, let alone like a full game run. No way I'd go for that in a 2-hour run. There's a few different dash patterns you can do to make getting speed from that cloud easier, but none of them are particularly easy.
Précis. C'est bon, ça c'est
Ooh, nice cycle skip in the hard run.
Beautiful.
Assez difficile si on meurt parce que les cycles sont vraiment. Parce qu'en fait, le temps qu'on met à sauter sur le nuage à juste rien faire, bah, c'est quasiment le même temps que le temps des cycles, donc c'est très très dur de changer son cycle si on est dessus.
Ok.
Et voilà, donc un 7B très propre.
Alrighty. So with that, he's going to head into core. So we've got 5 more berries to get here, and 1 more B side to play after he completes the A side. The gimmick with this chapter is that dashes do not refresh when you hit the ground. So you've got to get stuff like dash crystals or feathers, of which there's only a couple. So routing out where to exactly use your dashes and how to collect crystals is important for this level. So in these first couple rooms, you see him do a couple wave dashes that start in dash crystals, and that allows him to dash and then get his dash. And does he get it? He does. Okay, nicely done.
That was awesome.
So that's called ice skip. There's a few different ways to do it, again, as like with a lot of things in this game, but that skip's going around and getting like a switch to turn the level into cold mode like this. It saves like 45 seconds or something, 35 maybe, if you really know what you're doing in those rooms. But yeah, that's really cool that he got that first try. That is not easy.
Ouais, c'est à peu près 35 secondes. Et
Yep. If he ever has to move, no dashes, you're gonna see him jump something sort of akin to prologue.
Yep.
Probably not gonna see it too often because the idea is to not have to do that.
Yeah, dash's movement is annoying. It's slow and awkward and hard to optimize.
Les boules de glace, là, ça devient des boules de feu. Les lava blocks, ça devient ces trucs bizarres. Et enfin, les bumpers, ça...
Yeah, for instance, he was looking to hyper out of that last room. Didn't quite get it.
d'y toucher.
C'était chaud ça.
Nice cycle there. And that should put him at 174. It's just 1 more red berry.
Hop. Et on arrive à la partie plateforme de corps. Donc là, on a la lave ou alors de la glace qui nous poursuit. Et on va devoir s'échapper, mais ça ne va pas être un problème en tant que speedrunner. C'est un peu comme quand tu fais la section de chasse.
Ooh, that was nice. That room, that was really cool. I like that strat.
I like that quite a bit too.
He made that look really easy. It's definitely not.
Elle arrive quasiment à mes pieds au moment où je saute la première fois.
Ouais, bah là c'est pareil.
There have been some crazy highlights in this run for sure.
Un dash, on va sauter ici.
Alrighty, last berry room here. Oh boy, that is not where he wanted to go. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never seen anybody use this block. But there we go. Ooh, that was cool.
Oh
I don't
no!
know if that saves, I don't know if that saves time, but what he did there is a wall bounce off of a lava block. The part of those blocks that'll kill you is smaller than the part that you can wall bounce off of. So you can just, and also jump actually. Wall bounces are a 3-pixel window off of them instead of the normal 5, and jumps are a 1-pixel window off instead of the normal 3. So you can just jump off of lava. I don't know what that would mean canonically, but
You ever just jump off a lava?
it is doable.
No big deal. Just do it. Just jump off lava right now.
La lave monte et la glace descend. C'était extrêmement close ça.
Ouais.
je pensais pas que t'allais atteindre.
Alright, just about done with this level. Couple more rooms. And then we'll get into everybody's favorite level, 8B.
Corby. It's like Kirby with an accent.
Corby. Oh god.
Le fast cycle. Je suis mal entré dans l'écran, du coup je suis pas. J'ai même pas essayé.
That cassette room can be a little spooky.
Oh, c'est pas bien grave, vu cette room.
This room right here, this room is the killer of dreams for like ARB runs. It's so easy to choke in this room. Getting all these ultras is really tough.
C'est un peu décevant. C'est un peu
Voilà, un peu-
décevant.
un peu-
Pretty solid core.
La vitesse qu'on peut atteindre avec les ultras.
All told, you know,
Effectivement.
442, we take those.
C'est un corps très très propre.
Ok. Et maintenant 8B. 8B qui est un.
Alrighty, and with that, he's got 15 hearts and 175 berries. So that after finishing 8B, he will have all of the A side and B side collectibles.
Faut être patient.
Voilà, faut être patient.
Des fois il veut pas faire ce qu'on veut pas.
C'est un niveau.
To see a heart gate here, you actually need to get every A side and B side heart other than 8B to enter.
Je sais pas si tu connais cet ancien poème égyptien sur le
Non.
8B.
Sur le 8B. Bonjour. Ouh, on est passé juste. Parfait. Alors cet écran, je meurs tout le temps. Ah, bah, j'ai même pas eu le temps d'essayer ma strat, c'est pas très grave. Ok, on est passé. Ah, j'ai raté, j'ai pas collecté le cristal à l'aller, du coup j'ai pas pu faire la phase strat, mais c'est pas grave.
Ah, tu peux faire un wave dash par terre,
Ouais,
ça.
ouais.
This level, you'll often see a lot of personal preference into strats. Full run strats for this level are a lot slower than the individual level speedrun, like top level strats. And in general, you'll just sort of see people do what they find comfy.
Le bumper ne donne pas le bon
This
That makes
level-
sense.
This level is not too fun to speedrun with all the hard stuff.
Alors, il y a une règle d'or qui
I
This
think
level-
world record is like the 30x or something. And that's just insane. That's like 30 seconds faster than you'll see most top level runners get in full game runs.
Well, and if you're playing this level in a full game run, then you're playing a pretty long category. So
Yeah, and it's not near the beginning, that's for sure.
Parce que les lava
Comment
blocks
dire
sont le pire objet interactif du jeu. Hein, et que c'est vraiment très très précis et bizarre. Et...
Ouais, la direction est assez capricieuse des fois.
Anything you can find to make these rooms consistent.
L'inertie dans Celeste est très très importante. Et c'est ce qui fait une grosse partie du fun du jeu, de pouvoir garder sa vitesse au travers.
Ooh, nice corner kick there. Again, moving right through those spikes won't kill you.
C'est un bon jeu.
And that allows you to jump off the wall to gain some height.
Jouez-y, ouais. Achetez l'OST, donnez votre argent aux développeurs. C'est des good guys en plus.
Ça vaut le coup, ouais, clairement.
These next two rooms in particular can be really punishing for improper movement. Yeah, you'll see him just reset the room by going into the previous one.
Ouais, puis si je me souviens bien, il est vraiment.
yeah, don't even bother with the death cycle.
Yeah. Probably the same thing here.
Intéressant comme main.
Yep.
Yep.
Je me demande
That is very respectable.
Eh bien, tu peux te le demander une deuxième fois, parce que je viens de remourir de la
This dash pattern looks kind of hard.
En fait, je sais pas ce que je fais différemment de d'habitude. Oh, bah, décidément. C'était un bon corvée jusque-là, mais là, ça devient une corvée.
Oh no. Yeah, this room is one of the worst in the chapter. It's just like
I see that.
You can sort of improv it if you're like on the right cycle, but
Après, voilà.
if you're hitting the switches at the wrong time, the ice blocks won't be in the right spot for you to bounce off of, and then it just doesn't work and you die.
God, imagine doing this casually. Oh no.
Okay, so here you see him leave these rooms in ice. One thing that the developers sort of kept in mind here is that each room is doable in either if you enter in either ice or fire mode.
Bref, c'est normal.
In these two rooms, it's much easier and faster to leave it as.
Et remettre la lave, mais comme il y a la lave qui nous court, qui nous court derrière, il faut qu'on soit assez rapide, mais là, bon, ça va, ça passe. Ouf, le dash dans le mauvais sens.
Yep, ça m'arrive.
Some unfortunate deaths here, but this level will definitely do that to you if you're a little rusty.
C'est pas bien grave. On en a vu pire. Ouf.
Estimate probably accounts for it too.
Je sais pas vraiment comment faire ce.
Yeah, and also the estimate is real time.
Tu fais des dash up et t'espères que ça
So I'm not entirely sure
Voilà, c'est passé.
how far ahead of that. I'm assuming he's ahead of it. But I'm not sure.
Qu'est-ce que je fais?
Oh wow! How is he not dead?
C'était du parcours.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Wow is the correct word.
Ok. Alors là, on est obligé d'attendre un petit peu parce que de toute façon, la lave est trop haute si jamais on.
Nice little bumper boost there. If you hold away from a bumper as you hit it, it will give you much more speed,
Et encore un exemple des.
which allows you to sort of clear that middle part of the room in one movement. And then here he saves the dash to do a skip. I don't actually know how to use the first part of the room without doing that skip, so I did that recently when going for this golden berry, because I didn't know any other way to do the room.
Nous sommes humains.
Ma strat qui est absolument immonde et qui save genre
Uh-oh.
3 secondes, je crois. Hop, et on retrouve la basse gravité.
And a cheeky little demo there to finish it off.
Assez sympa.
Nice.
Yes.
Alrighty, and with that, I believe he's going to enter Farewell. So this is free DLC that came out, oh gosh, 9 months ago now?
I want to say like
Yeah, September
September 19.
September 9th, 2019, 9/9/19.
There you go.
Um,
Mais dis donc, Jamy,
and yeah, it's a beast of a chapter. It'll probably take him about 20 minutes, maybe a little less, a little more, depending upon how many punishing deaths. As long as rooms are in like 6, 7, and 8B, they get even longer in Farewell and more frequent. So deaths become more punishing. The rooms are hard pretty consistently throughout. And of course, if the last room goes wrong, that'll cost you a lot of.
Yeah, this is a behemoth of a chapter, if you will.
Yeah. It's sort of loosely divided into 2 segments. There's a heart gate about a third of the way into the chapter that sort of falls from the sky, and it asks for 15 hearts. But it's actually possible to skip, and you'll probably see him do that because it's faster. He has the hearts for it, but you might as well skip it.
Ben
qu'est-ce
ouais.
que le plan passe vite.
Non, faut que je récupère la.
This is not super relevant, but shout out to when we made Peter do like 50 golden attempts of this. That was one of my favorite Peter streams. We're talking about Peter Sink, another Celeste player.
Yeah, it's very good at both Celeste and Super.
La première chose que je me suis dit, c'est ah, c'est un cristal qui donne 2 dash, tu vois.
Ouais,
Genre, je
clairement.
me suis même pas posé la question.
And the last couple of months, actually, Runner Revolution that we mentioned earlier in 6A has been sort of tearing this level apart. His summer best is like a mid 14, which is crazy. Current record is 15 3x he got recently, and he can probably lower that by still over 30 seconds if he gets a really good run. But his strats are so fast that his runs have a ton more deaths than you'll see in top level play from other runners and still getting about the same time.
Tellement de strat à 3,
That's absolutely nuts.
His singular strats are just gorgeous. The strats for this checkpoint that Gross is in are insane.
Ça marche.
Yeah, you can do some crazy stuff. Definitely would recommend checking that out.
Gonna say, sounds like I have to watch that.
Yeah, so his run is uploaded to speedrun.com, I believe. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if he uploaded it because I know he wasn't happy with it. He actually saved and quit in reconciliation because he was having a couple deaths and he knew he was still on pace. So he saved and quit to refocus.
I like that. I could see myself doing the same thing.
I mean, hey, if the 5BIL save and quits, why can't the farewell? You know?
C'est plus rapide, top route, et c'est beaucoup moins dur.
So, for those keeping track, your homework now after this run is to watch the tasks and then watch Revo's IL of this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up there. Okay, 2 days ago. Very, very good. Yeah, his description says had to save and quit to calm down and recon after a tilt moment.
I like how it's like a 15-minute IL. Like that's a full run of so many other games.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Et de ne pas mourir.
I mean, there are checkpoints in this level that are 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and yeah, it's crazy. So much goes into learning this level. There's new mechanics. There's
J'y suis pas allé parce
a lot of crazy rooms, a lot of crazy strats. So here you're going to see him go for a skip that skips getting 5 keys to unlock these doors. And this is intended. I mean, you'll see he's going through a room
que normalement, il faut
that you wouldn't do normally. Typically, you take a red bubble up through this gap.
on a rien skippé du tout, on est mort.
He's going to have to attempt it again. This is where is he going?
uh,
Bah, tu peux juste aller prendre la
récupère.
méduse.
Oh, interesting. I've never seen anybody get 2 dashes from there. Typically, you see people get get the jelly from the middle of the room there, and then go get 2 dashes from the right. I wonder if that's fast. It probably is if he's.
Ça, c'est mieux passé.
Voilà, parfait.
But then, yeah, you'll see him take this alternate route up here.
C'est moins grave.
Ouais, c'est pas très grave.
C'est un début de faire.
oh no, bonk.
So these moon blocks here that you see are a little bit weird. They move when you dash into them. So if you dash into them and then jump like you normally would for a corner boost, you can actually get the speed boost from them moving as well as the additional speed from a corner. And so like tasks of these moon blocks are crazy because you can get a ton of boosts and then also get instant delayed ultras, which is something that we haven't really talked about because it's not really used much, if at all, for human runs. But they're abusable in a couple spots for humans as well.
S'il faut vous vous souvenez, bah non, on l'a pas montré, mais au prologue, si on allait à gauche, on pouvait retourner dans notre voiture. Et faire...
The way that ultras give you speed is that if you dash diagonally, is he going to get intro car? Oh my gosh. Anyway, if you dash diagonally downwards, the game will give you a 1.2 times speed boost when you next hit the ground. And if you do that while next to a corner, like dashing into a wall to get a corner boost, you can cancel the dash with the corner boost, and then the next time you hit the ground, you will still get that 1.2. Even if you like didn't have enough height for an ultra normally. And that's very useful for tasks in a lot of places because it can just get speed where it normally wouldn't be able to. But it's really hard tech to do for you.
Voilà, donc intéressant, il aggrave la méduse juste après.
If I were running this background, it would distract me so much.
Yeah. Oh, we got door skip. Nice. So that's a reverse hyper into a right dash. And if you just very carefully manage your height, you can just sneak under that door.
Non, la deuxième, c'est beaucoup plus dur.
Another intended skip.
Pas ta only, mais pas loin.
Ouais, donc c'est Nero only quoi.
C'est ça, c'est l'idée. Ah, j'ai raté ma strat. C'est pas grave.
Ouais, cet écran est un peu bizarre.
Un petit peu.
Oh, that was a gorgeous jelly ultra. Same as with Theos, jellies will cancel your dash, and you can get an ultra from them.
Ça va très vite. C'est très
Suivi
bien.
de 2 autoscrollers nuls. Voilà.
Bon, il y en a un qu'on skip en partie, et ce qui est plutôt bonne nouvelle.
Ouais, c'est vrai. C'est vrai. Parce que les autoscrollers.
This is one of the harder checkpoints in the chapter, in my opinion. So a lot of these rooms are precise. Ooh, he's skipping the block. They actually passed in this jelly barrier in one of the small patches after releasing Farewell, which makes the skip harder. I believe it was to sort of clarify what you're meant to do for casual play. But it does unfortunately make the room slower for speed.
C'est pas gentil ces zones, et que moi qui peux passer, j'ai l'impression. Alors normalement, il nous faut 15 cœurs pour passer cette.
And he skips the door. There you go.
Nice, nice.
No need to wait for hearts to collect.
Et donc là, le jeu nous apprend les hyper dash, enfin extended dash, parce que les hyper dash, on verra un petit peu plus loin dans la run, toute fin, que le jeu nous.
And as hard as remembered is, it definitely does not get any easier in these next two checkpoints.
Là, on va commencer.
These are sort of designed with wave dashes and wall bounces in mind. And yeah, they're tough rooms. These checkpoints are not easy.
Du chapitre en tout
Ouais,
cas.
ouais.
Les deux qui suivent là.
Admittedly, some of the rooms, like that last one, where you're meant to like learn how to do wave dashes, are trivial for speedrunners because that's sort of like the backbone of the run. But then other stuff like this is really precise and awkward. And I wonder if he's going to do. Okay, yeah, he does do the wall bounce exit here. That one's a little precise.
Binoclip, alors si on va.
Oh, he's going for bino clip. Okay, so scrolling the room over to the right with a bino there unloads the spikes, so then you can just, I believe it's a super through them. Oh, he dies afterwards, but oh, this is a really cool strat. I think it loses time for humans, but it's so cool.
C'est assez impressionnant, c'est assez fun.
It might save just a little bit.
That's absurd. I love it.
Ça fait gagner 0,2 secondes, mais comme c'est.
Love that strat.
Je trouve que la strat normale.
When I saw him go to the binoculars, I was like, wait, what is he doing? And then you said something, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I think Fish McMuffins found that on day one, actually.
Wow.
They saw that and it was just like, I bet you can do something with this. One of the more skilled tasters of this game, and also a very good RTA.
Cet écran qui est très très fun. Stubbornness n'est pas très sympa.
This room is annoying. I don't like this room.
Ça dépend. Les cycles sont cool, mais c'est pas vraiment ultra dur, quoi. C'est juste ouais. Ça reste dur, tu vois, parce que c'est farewell, mais c'est pas non plus le. Enfin, je trouve que c'est vraiment pas aussi dur que.
Alright, this room they actually, when they were giving a sneak preview of the chapter, this was the room that they chose to do so for one of them, and it's actually one of the hardest in the chapter. There's like decent visual cues for it, but it's still hard to get.
C'est pas l'autoscroller.
I think somebody made a tutorial video for this on YouTube for people to just like beat it casually. Ooh, that was nice.
Les trois ressorts auxquels faut sauter, faut dasher dedans et le vent.
So he grabbed the wall in a particular spot there to skip jumping on the cloud.
À la fin de Determination, vers la fin de Determination.
You know what I can't believe? I can't believe this DLC is free.
Yeah, like they basically released another game. Reminds me of like Shovel Knight, Plague Knight, stuff like that.
Je te promets que je ne comprenais pas ce qu'il fallait faire. J'ai passé facile 3 heures sur ce tableau en mode mais quoi?
No long deaths, no long deaths. Alrighty, and he's through. That room is, oh,
Et voilà,
the last room of that checkpoint is great.
Mécanique très très sympa, je trouve. L'idée de devoir dash pour enlever les murs. Voilà, c'est cet écran là dont je parlais.
Ah oui, ok.
Très 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 dur en casu. Il est. C'est vraiment un.
Bah on fait la même strat en speedrun que ce qu'il y a en cavu.
Yeah, some of these rooms.
Ce qu'il faut faire,
Here they've got bubbles and wind, which is a little interesting. They are in fact affected by it.
I really like how this chapter blends mechanics.
Ouais, j'étais bien bas.
Oh man, that was close.
Ouais, celui-là, il est quand même assez.
He grabbed that lava block about as low as you can and still made it.
Oh no!
J'avais fait le plus dur.
Ouais, le plus dur était passé.
Cycles in this room are also brutal.
Les mécaniques sont assez tricky ici parce que t'as des fois où tu peux fast fall, des fois tu peux pas. Enfin, c'est un peu.
If you're not quite doing the exact amount of fast fall that you want to be, you'll be off cycle.
Ok, ok.
Et ça passe.
Alors là, on va pouvoir se servir du bloc qui bouge pour gagner pas mal de vitesse et skip la première partie du.
And a hyper off this block gives you big speed. Oh, and you can go under there, but getting the right timing for that can be tricky.
Avec l'ultra, le reverse ultra où on ressaute sur le bloc et on fait en même temps.
And then we've got this room. Upwind and core bouncy ice things.
Et connu pour.
That's the official name for them.
I don't know. Ice blocks. I called these jellies for a while, but now there's like actual jellyfish.
Ouais, très agressif. Il y a une strat dans la.
I don't know what.
6B qui est.
I don't know. I'm just giving you crap.
Quand tu la touches, c'est trop marrant par contre parce que t'as vraiment l'impression de toute la room. Alors qu'il la traîne pendant 2 heures.
Ah oui, c'est vrai.
On passera sur ce détail.
Nicely done.
Hop, donc là normalement il y a un démo je crois. Je sais plus si c'est la room là ou si c'est d'après. Bon, c'est pas très grave de toute façon.
Here, there's a checkpoint you can take. Yep, he does not take it and makes it through.
C'est pas le démo, c'est pas très grave.
Oh, this room baffled me casually. I was so confused.
Pour comprendre ce qu'il faut faire,
I don't know if you remember your playthrough of this. Have you played for a while?
I've played some of it. I haven't gotten this
Okay.
far.
Okay. That room, I was so confused what to do.
Et on arrive à la fin de détermination.
I played it in
Alors, le
played this chapter in two segments. I think I had a 3-hour stream before. I went to a couple lectures and then finished it after. And it's just like I had come back from class and like jumped back into this chapter and was just baffled by that room.
I need to get better at the game. that's my thing. Chapter's hard.
Alrighty, and now we're into the global cycle checkpoint, which Celeste has nowhere else. But these cassette block cycles are on like a metronomic tick system that persists through rooms, and so it's sort of like a pseudo global cycle because as long as you're like on the same point in the current room cycle that you're on, it'll be the same in the next room. But that essentially means you'll be losing a cycle throughout the whole checkpoint if you have to wait for that. And so there are strats that down dash again to save 3 frames each, and also set up entering the next room at the proper point in the cycle.
Elle colle vraiment bien à l'ambiance pour le coup.
I feel like I should also point out if you're inside one of these music blocks, it just won't appear.
Yep. Oh wow, leaving the room. Not entirely sure why you do that. I don't think that's faster than just waiting for the cycle to be at the correct point.
Might be a comfort thing.
Donc en fait on peut juste dash dedans et puis ça passe. Et voici un des meilleurs checkpoints.
Ouais, clairement.
Alrighty, and now, in my opinion, into the best checkpoint of this chapter. This checkpoint is so cool. I feel like it just combines all the elements that you've seen already in a really cool way, and it's just this like epic conclusion.
Je crois que c'est la seule musique de l'OST où genre.
Oh, you're right. Tempo is way slow. That makes sense. Yeah. So that room that he left, the tempo of the metronome is really slow, so it probably saves time to actually leave to the faster. Yeah, it would depend on exactly where in the cycle he.
Notamment la partie
So in this
Good point.
section, you've got those battle line and bird throws, as well as the double dash crystals, the puffer fish, electricity boxes.
l'oiseau et Badeline.
Everything comes together here.
Dans Summit, en fait, si on skip Badeline, elle va pas aller bouger pour nous accompagner. Là, si. Donc, ça rend le gameplay, comme tu dis, beaucoup plus fluide.
Yes.
Si je connaissais cette section, je n'ai aucun doute que ça soit un
Ooh,
plaisir à jouer.
this demo route is intended, but it's definitely not easy.
Clairement, autant casuellement qu'en speedrun, c'est toujours un plaisir.
Ah ouais, casuellement, ouais, là, y a rien à dire. Hop. Ouf, dommage. Un petit peu greedy sur le
retour, ouais.
Sur le retour, ouais.
I don't know if you guys can hear the music for this on stream, but this track, in my opinion, is the best in the game. Like, hands down. It's so good.
La plume est une construction sociale.
Alors là, on arrive sur 3 écrans avec des skips assez intéressants. Bon, je fais pas les strats complètement state of the art, mais je fais. Voilà, là, on peut skipper, d'aller vers le bas. Et
Ooh, nice skip.
pile assez de longueur pour finir.
If you make it there on the right cycle, you can just right dash.
Ce qu'on n'a pas dit avec les méduses, c'est que si on appuie sur O, quand on est avec une méduse, ça ralentit.
And in this room, we can skip using that left dash block. And again, you can skip using these. Oh, he's going to try going under here? Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. So it's actually cycle dependent because these power blocks have idle movement cycles, like a lot of other things in this game. And if you get there on the wrong cycle, it becomes very, very precise. Or at the wrong point in the cycle, rather. I think that might have worked, but yeah, definitely good to just cut your losses once you've missed it.
Oui, donc il faut qu'il soit assez haut pour que tu puisses taper dedans et.
Et retomber derrière, exactement. Ouais.
Ok.
You've got this auto-scroller spring room.
Encore un autoscroller.
Ok, on va essayer de skipper la fin. Enfin, de partir plus vite. Normalement, on est censé taper une fois à gauche, prendre le ressort et taper à droite, mais c'est plus rapide d'aller à
Nice. Very nice.
Assez précis d'ailleurs. Hop. Alors, est-ce que c'est ici qu'il y a l'ultra? Non, c'est après.
Oups.
Ah, si, c'est là.
Ouais.
Le gros ultra des familles.
J'ai tout raté et je suis.
Oh no. This room is like the speedrun tech room of this checkpoint. A lot of hypers.
C'était fait exprès.
Actually, a couple of places for nice ultras, but they're not required.
Magnifique ultra. On aura tout vu dans ce run.
Ah, bah là, c'est vraiment.
Là, c'est.
C'est la run de.
This is another background that probably distracts me a lot.
Yeah, they put a lot into the visuals of this chapter.
I mean, it looks phenomenal.
Enfin, parce qu'on fait un ultra dash, des fois. Alors, je suis pas exactement sûr de.
Yeah, you get used to it, but then once you start thinking about the fact that there's like this swirling void behind the gameplay, it's a little bit distracting.
Exactly.
Canonically, this is in space. I don't know how she's breathing, but or where the jellyfish are coming from. Alrighty, last room in this checkpoint, and he's in the final room. Well, normally the final room.
Et donc on arrive à l'écran où faut pas mourir. Donc là on pouvait mourir, c'était pas grave. On l'a d'ailleurs montré à maintes reprises.
And we'll just let this room speak for itself.
Là faut pas mourir, là pendant 2 minutes j'ai plus de checkpoint.
I'll tell you when the first checkpoint is.
All right.
Dernier écran du jeu en année pour enfin pas en année pour cent, mais sans la berry.
Mais quelle berry? Il n'y a pas de berry. C'est une suggestion.
Ok.
Pas spoiler,
Nous changeons la catégorie du jeu. On
Il n'y a pas de berry. Hein. C'est le dernier écran du jeu. Hein.
Dac. Je pense que les gens y croient encore. Ok.
Et le Père Noël existe.
Le
d'ailleurs.
Père Noël est un fait avéré.
Prouvé par la
C'est un
science.
personnage de l'histoire du monde.
Hop, et la fin qui est assez simple, mais pas trop quand même. Parce que les nerfs sont présents. Bon, je pense qu'à ce stade, on a dépassé les nerfs vu qu'on fait des dashs diagonaux qui risquent de faire perdre 1 minute 30 sans aucun souci.
Oh man, he's going for that hyper.
If that was a kid, this is where I would say, are we there yet?
Nope.
I know, which is the crazy part.
Il nous reste.
J'y avais cru là.
Il nous reste encore.
It's now been nearly 2 minutes since he started the room.
On n'a pas fini. Alors là, j'ai vraiment pas envie.
And if he dies right now, he goes back to the beginning.
Non, tu n'es pas mort. Il n'y a pas de. Bon, il y a quand même un checkpoint un petit peu plus haut, mais
Ouais.
Là pour l'instant, si
Là, c'était,
s'il meurt, on revient tout au début du tableau.
So what he's doing right now is this is a backtrack for the final berry you get in this run.
La porte qu'on a enlevée, la méduse.
And it's sort of just using all of the elements that were there. And now he has a check.
Là, il y a un check.
So it's about 2.5 minutes of gameplay where if you die once, you go back to the start of this mega monstrosity of a room.
La partie est pas si dure, donc je pense que.
In normal farewell attempts, it's about 90, 100 seconds. So like a minute 30 or so.
Mais j'allais dire que
But then you've got that extra minute of backtracking to get up here for the moon.
De base là, est pas ultra dur, tu vois, c'est pas. Enfin,
Oui, c'est vrai.
And this room, sort of on its own, can be one of the reasons to put farewell earlier in splits for this run.
Le deuxième
I
Ah,
certainly would.
qu'on a eu du premier tour, à défaut d'avoir celui qui fait gagner.
So that room is sort of an homage to Bubstrop, and it's not, Bubstrop isn't required to do that, but a death warp is.
C'est une règle de.
C'est vrai.
And they also made it possible to Bubstrop. And then you've got this really cool room that uses jelly tech.
Donc, un truc qu'il abuse vraiment là dans cette
That he is making look.
du niveau, c'est ce qui s'appelle les Gelevators, genre les ascenseurs à méduse. C'est-à-dire qu'en fait, un peu à la manière de Théo, si on est.
I talked with Kevin, one of the main sound designers for this, sort of about these last couple rooms, mostly the previous room that Gross was in. And it was sort of Matt wanted it to be. I mean, it's the last thing they're making for this game, so it's sort of this really challenging room. Demands a lot from them.
Yes.
They didn't want to sacrifice on that,
Et donc voilà, pour Farewell.
and he's out.
Well done.
Done with farewell.
Donc on a fini. Je vais aller me coucher.
Pas si vite.
Bonne
Il nous
soirée.
reste
Ah, mince.
l'effacer.
Clearly well practiced in that chapter. I mean, you have to be.
Yeah.
Encore une fois, on vous a bien eu.
Alrighty, and to close it out, we've got 8 short levels to see
C'est bluffant.
that are sort of like extra hard variations of the normal stuff you saw him doing for the first hour and a half or so. The short little chapters, 3 or 4 rooms each,
C'était pas le meilleur des faits.
and yeah, and we'll be done.
Donc les 6 sides qui sont des chapitres, un par niveau, à part Farewell. Donc 8.
Looks like he's saying a few words before he gets into the city seaside. And here we go.
Seems like it, yep.
Donc ouais, vas-y, continue à expliquer les facets pendant que.
Sont beaucoup plus durs.
These chapters are designed with wall bounces in mind. Some of them use them more than others, but that is now a tool in the player's toolkit. These are unlocked after beating 8B, which is unlocked after beating 7B. So it's assumed that the player knows how to use them.
Si tu meurs à la fin du truc. Et c'est assez facile en plus de mourir.
Les parties dures sont au début de l'écran, quand même, globalement.
There we go.
C'est
Nice one.
comme la fin de Farewell, tu vois, genre c'est facile de mourir parce que tu te dis bon je foirerai pas les hyper dash, c'est la fin de la run.
Surtout
Et là
le
tu foires
dernier,
ton
là.
hyper dash alors que tu fais des hyper dash depuis le début du jeu, tu vois, mais bon.
Spoiler pour la fin de la run où je vais foirer mon hyper dash. Si jamais.
Just hit 2 hours on the in-game time not too long ago.
Oh yeah. Oh nice. This won't be too far off his PB. I think he's got like a 155 or something. It's quite a good time actually.
That sounds pretty good.
Put a lot of time into this. I've got some of his practice streams before this. He's been playing it for like the last couple months, doing some, not necessarily doing hundo runs the whole time, but doing like ARB runs, all B-sides runs, all C-sides runs. More manageable bites to practice for this sort of behemoth. With how intense the movement is in this game, a 2-hour run is pretty demanding.
Yeah,
it's
especially
nice.
if you're trying to do like really dedicated practice, trying to do like multiple runs a day.
Yeah, multiple runs are for the most part not feasible. Maybe 2, but
You can only imagine the toll it takes on your hands too.
yeah. The only level that really gets to me with that is Farewell, just because it's like 20 or so minutes of nonstop. I guess unless you decide to save and quit like Revo. Nice 3C. Taking a little bit safe in that last run, but that one can be bad.
I mean, Revo might be onto something with that. Keep your hands ready to do mental reset.
I mean, I imagine a save and quit at the start of the last room would cost what, like 2 or 3 seconds, and could potentially save you like a minute if you think you might die without that.
Avec 9D. Avec les 10 raids dont 9D.
Ouais, 9D,
Parfait.
évidemment. Ça va devenir comme le 100% de Breath of the Wild avec des runs de 24 heures.
C'est ça. Un peu moins maintenant.
Alright, into 4. This the end of this room can be really trolly. If you hit hearts a few frames after a dash ends, you'll actually just bounce. And this heart in particular can do that to you if you dash too soon. And with the wind, it can make for some funny clips.
Moi, je vais parier sur beaucoup.
Quelque chose comme ça, je sais plus exactement.
Ouais,
c'est dans ces eaux-là. C'est à peu près beaucoup.
After that, he's headed into my opinion the 2 hardest C-sides, or at least most inconsistent, right? 5C has a lot. The first room is just brutal, and then the last room has a lot of pretty precise wallbang. Okay, no. That first room, he opts to do pretty much casual strat, which is honestly, that's valid. Like every other strat in that room is just like dumb. And then here you can see he's got a lot of jumps off of one tile, tall ball. And he's through. Very good 5. And 6C has tight feather room, a bunch of bumpers, you know, as you do. It's actually got a mid room check in the last room.
Pour flex. Si c'est, je l'ai pas trop, première fois que j'ai joué.
Ouais. Avec un skip intéressant en run dans le prochain écran.
Ouais. Un skip qui nous vient du TAS.
Ouais.
Qu'on a adapté un peu en RTA. C'est assez sympa de voir les interactions qu'il y a entre TAS et RTA.
Ok, alors normalement on est censé emmener le bloc, faire tout un...
There's a skip you can do here. You're meant to redirect the skip and block throughout this whole room, but you can hit it on the side and then up to the top of this room. And then that actually skips having to do that. Oh, we didn't need to retry.
Vous faites pas avoir.
La partie la plus dure, ça reste de taper vraiment le haut, puis de retomber dessus et de pas se manger les pieds.
Ok.
Hop.
That setup is probably the hardest part of the trick.
Je veux pas te spoiler, mais ça se passe mal.
But, doing this at the end of the run can be pretty stressful.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so that just gets it all the way down to the bottom of the screen in one hit.
Et cette partie-là est vraiment très cool. Je trouve c'est... Parce qu'en fait, t'as pas vraiment
I'm gonna say stick around after the run. I know Baguette Restream has something they want to announce, and we at the Midwest Speed Fest team have some stuff we want to talk about too. And then we'll go right into another marathon because there are like 5 of them happening this weekend. So don't go away.
Nice.
Playing.
Et en plus, je blindfold avec ma main, donc je joue qu'avec une seule main. Vous êtes prêts?
Bah, s'il y a bien un mec qui l'a fait avec un pad DDR,
Oui, c'est vrai,
je
c'est
pense
vrai.
qu'avec une main ça passe.
C'est assez marrant, regarde.
Here we have Wall Bounce the Room.
Nice.
C'est très millimétré, par contre cette C effectivement c'est un peu plus précis.
Là, c'est
And then after this short screen, probably one of the hardest screens in the game. It's a gauntlet, and you'll see. It's so long. There's so many spikes. This room took me probably like 3 hours to beat casually.
T'as un jump qui est assez bizarre, notamment ce jump là juste après, où si t'es pas genre tout au bord, tu te prends les pics et tu peux rien faire. Hop. Le petit wall bounce, le nuage. Et on a passé la partie vraiment difficile. Là c'est juste des dashs un peu partout.
Very nice.
Et on est bon pour cette C, first try.
First try, c'est le mot.
Ouais, first try.
C'est faux.
Ouais, mais... Non, non,
ah ouais, je suis
montez,
mort un
y a
petit
pas eu de
peu,
mort.
ouais.
Non, non, il n'y a pas eu de mort, hein. Montez.
Ah oui. Mais d'ailleurs, de la run, si je me souviens bien.
De
Je
quoi
crois que je suis pas mort de la run, si je me souviens bien.
Ah ouais, ouais, c'est... Si, il y a juste une fois parce que c'était plus rapide de retry. Mais
Yes.
sinon, bah non.
Yes.
Non, non, il y a pas eu de mort.
Alrighty, last level of the game, at least
Here
for
we
his
go.
run order. All 23 hearts, you can access this level, and here the game teaches you about hypers, which again he's been doing the whole run since he started in one.
Très sympa, monsieur l'oiseau.
Jusqu'à ce que tu joues à Farewell.
Alors là, dans mon PB, je suis allé trop.
Wow.
Ça m'était jamais arrivé, ça ne m'arrivera plus jamais, mais juste.
Another highlight from the task is this room. It's quite something. It's probably the fastest Madeline moves in the entire task. Where is he going? Oh no!
Ah!
I can hear his co-commentator just being like,
I mean, yeah, me too.
Moi, j'aurais juste fait pause retry. Hein.
T'aurais gagné du temps.
J'aurais perdu des points de flex.
Je sais pas si c'est du flex à ce niveau-là.
Ah, t'as quand même... Tu peux te dire, ouais, j'ai essayé, tu vois.
Point de tryhard ultime.
Ouais, des points de tryhard, ouais, plutôt. Le task d'ailleurs de ce niveau est très
Ah
beau,
oui,
hein.
très sympa à voir.
Bah, je sais pas vu qu'on voit pas grand chose, mais il est très drôle.
Alrighty, looks like he's through. Barring an unfortunate death. Yeah, and that's Celeste 100% in 2 hours and 6 minutes 41 seconds. IGT.
GG, about 2:25, like 26 or something. They stopped the timer a little bit late, but
There we go. Nicely done.
great run.
Yeah, solid.
I don't even, yeah. Like, what do we even say? I mean, Celeste Hondo.
Yeah, lots of deaths for sure. I mean, I'm sure he would have wanted to do better, but in a marathon showcase, this is a very solid run.
Well underestimate too.
Yeah.
All right.
Congrats
Well,
to Gross.
absolutely. Make sure you check out Gross's channel. Make sure you check out Baguette Restream. I mean, as much as you can, given that they're speaking French. But and stay tuned. We got some stuff we're going to talk about. I think we're going to kick you out, Jack. So if there's anything else you want to say.
Nope. Thanks
All right.
for sticking around.
Well, thank you for commentating. We appreciate it.
Yep.
It was fun.
See ya.
Yep. We're going to get member of staff in here, another one, probably Gooby, and tell him to hop in.
Bien, bien, bien. Eh bien, messieurs, dames,
I hope you all enjoyed the restream. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Hello, it's Goobin
Hey, Gooby. How are you?
I am Big Goobin.
Heck
And
yeah.
done with our first ever foreign language restream. So that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool to be able to flip the script like that on them.
It is. It's very cool.
For those who don't know, Baguette Restream has been supporting us for how many marathons? Like 5, 6?
Since Speed Spinner 2019. So I think about, yeah, that seems right. Trying to think of how many we've had since then. So there's Speed Spinner 2019. Then there's spring 2019 and summer and fall. And then, yeah, this last one. Yeah, 6 then. 6 marathons.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we're losing count speaks for itself.
Yeah. And they do have a special announcement for us here. Looks like they're doing. We got Roma and Majin over here hanging out together, looks like. I don't know if they're like roommates or they're just kind of just hanging out for the marathon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me get their stream up. There we go.
I mean, I don't speak French either, so I don't.
Yeah. what Mike do?
Marquis Dan, help us.
Roma without his red hair. Remember that time when Roma?
Oh yeah.
I think that was the first marathon they restreamed with us. It was like, I'm gonna dye my hair red. Yeah, it was. if you hit the goal, I'm gonna dye my hair. That's pretty good.
Roma's awesome.
Roma is very awesome. Very, very cool person. All the Baguette people are very cool.
Yeah, we really appreciate their support.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think this announcement's going to be?
Well, according to Marquis Dan, it says that everyone give Marquis Dan $5. I mean, that seems legit. I'll go get my wallet then. All right.
Yeah, same.
I'll mail it to you.
You have PayPal?
No. You're gonna have to mail it through carrier pigeon.
I'm hoping they have some sort of graphic or something.
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen. Overall, though, this marathon was really, really fun to watch. We had a lot of really cool
Heck
runs. Yeah. I some of the ones just my highlights personally were the Illusion of Gaia randomizer. Hadn't heard that randomizer before. That's one I'm kind of considering playing because that's just such a cool game with that. What else? The Overcooked 2 run was also really cool. They were super close to world record.
Dang, let's go.
Yeah. What ones did you like best, Helix?
I wasn't able to watch too much. I really was only able to catch what I was commentating and restreaming for. I mean, of course, I would say Celeste, recency bias, but like, it was really good.
So then you're gonna say my melee run was your favorite, right?
Oh, of course.
There you go. Link's Awakening was very hype. That was a super good one, dude. It's just a good racing game. Like that was one of the better racing games I've seen. I would love to see some more races of that game in a marathon. Maybe speaking of marathon, whoa, what is this command? Whoa, look at that!
What the heck?
Whoa,
What's
whoa,
that? Where did that come from?
whoa!
Who made that? What are who made those? What are the
Who made this? What are they doing here?
what the heck? Yeah, two marathons we're helping out with. The nearest one is Calathon Stand Together. We're partnering with them and Fast Force. That'll be streamed on Calathon's Twitch channel June 18th to 21st in support of the Bail Project. You can join their Discord to learn more. In their announcements channel, they have like a Twitter thread with some helpful links. You can go submit. I mean, their Tiltify is already open if you want to donate right now. Submissions are open for that for another like literally today and tomorrow. So if you want to submit, you got to do that right now.
Yeah.
I personally am very excited to be helping with that because obviously, you know, current events. This is something that is affecting everyone really.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on with that.
Yeah, I mean, Midwest Speed Fest fully supports the Black Lives Matter movement, so it's just good to be able to help out.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to let you take the Midwest Speed Fest stuff then, since I just talked about Stand Together.
Yeah. So our flagship event, we're having it online this year because more current events. So it'll be August 28th to 30th. That will be in support of Able Gamers. If you're not familiar with Able Gamers, they make accessible controllers for people with disabilities. So, like, if you've seen the Xbox kind of an accessible controller where it's straight buttons on a table, and that can be placed on like a wheelchair, things like that, then it's very cool. They make kind of similar kind of controllers, and submissions for that will be open until July 7th at 11:59 p.m. CST. We'll get our schedule out about a week after that is the plan.
Yep, we're going to have a schedule reveal too, as always.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a lot of fun. Hoping to break our PB from Mid-Spring Speed Fling, 5.1K.
I believe.
I do too. That'll be really sick.
Those are the two things we got going on. We also have runner spotlights most Wednesdays at about 7 p.m. with our friend Newt.
Mm-hmm. Those are kind of interview style podcasts. You get to know some of the runners in the marathons, give like really fun facts about themselves, their games, just get to know them more. It's pretty fun. We also have game nights in our Discord.
Oh yeah, if you're not in our Discord, you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what to do, !Discord. I'm just gonna do it for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in our Discord. There we go.
I kept hitting the wrong button. Imagine typing.
Maternity this Thursday, there it is. Hey, dude, you better give us you better give us a mushroom fact. I demand a mushroom fact. So okay. You don't get it, the meme during Binding of Isaac, this marathon, Newt and I just devolved into like somehow we devolved into giving mushroom facts. And so
that's incredible.
Yeah, we just what was it like? Portobello mushroom has more potassium than a banana, or something. When I give.
There was a point during the Mario Kart run where Amber and I just started talking about like desserts.
Oh yes. There's always some sort of weird food meme. I don't get why all our memes are with food. It's really weird.
It's either food or go to bed, Gooby.
Yeah, it really is. It's yelling at me to sleep.
Well, I suppose you can't forget about our Natomizer either.
Oh yeah, randomizer is pretty good.
I wish I knew what this announcement was.
I wish I did too.
I would love to actually like share it with all of you because I genuinely am curious about what they're doing.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's marathon recap.
I think that's what it is now, yeah.
Yeah. We also talked about food and overcooked. I can't believe that, Dan. I can't believe that. How dare you?
Banned.
Band. Marquis Dan. More like Marquis Band. Got him.
Okay. Shout out to all the volunteers who helped out with commentary, restreaming, etc. for
Yeah, for real. Everyone came by. We had a really chill event. It was really fun to see everyone bringing their different commentary styles, checking over, getting the commentaries together. Thanks to Palmer for making these layout. Everyone who made like schedules for tech, schedules for commentary. Definitely need you all here. Definitely appreciate having you all here a lot.
I want to shout out Drive the Historian in particular for kind of bailing us out in some of those overnight runs for us.
Oh yeah, trying to do like a 7-hour commentary shift.
Oh, so much talking. I hope he had some water handy.
Oh man, it was legendary. Yeah, big shout outs there on commentary. I wonder if we could all go into the Mega Twitch page and then we just like put Elite Gamer or something. We just all spam Elite Gamers.
I'm down. I have the chat open right now.
See, it looks like they're plugging their social media. No, that's their MooBot.
We should plug our social media. I mean, we really only have one, which is our Twitter, MW Speedfest.
Oh, you know what? Let's go put burgers instead. That's a better idea. There you go. That's
Good.
I like that. Yeah. Put the
Do we have
hamburger.
like a burger? Is there like a burger emote we can use or something?
There's a burger emote on Twitch, I think. I'm pretty sure it uses a similar ones to Discord, right? They use the same library. Yeah, hamburger. Yep. Go into Baguette's stream here. Spam some burgers. Right there.
I've done my part.
I'm
Probably
getting
do
on
more.
there right now. _restream. There we go. There they are. All right. Oh no, wait, I'm on mobile. I can't do it.
Bodied.
Oh wait, hamburger. I can try like this, maybe. Hamburger. Did that work?
No.
Man, I put in the same thing. Close enough. Close enough.
S'il n'y a pas d'annonce fin août, vous dire qu'on a abandonné l'idée. Si on a une, c'est.
Is that a Link costume on top of their fridge?
Maybe.
Kind of looks like it could be a Link costume. Mushroom facts. Mushrooms are cool. All right, let's hit him with the mushroom fact. Mushroom facts. All right, let's see. Fun mushroom facts for kids. There you go.
For kids specifically? All right.
It says for kids, yeah. Okay, here we go. Before the invention of synthetic dyes, mushrooms were widely used for dyeing wool and other natural fibers. Mushroom dyes are organic compounds that produce strong, vivid colors.
Mushroom facts for kids. Do kids often come up to their parents and just go like, "Hey, mom, teach me a mushroom fact"? Like what? Wait a minute.
I'm sure kids ask all sorts of things. Like they'll ask why about
That's
anything.
true, actually.
They'll ask you anything. So like, there's gotta be anything out there. It's just I've Google at the ready.
My favorite is when like a kid asks you where something is and you just say you don't know, and they're like, "No, where?" Like they just don't accept that as an answer.
They don't accept you don't know everything. It's like but I don't know. I don't know what.
Contrary to popular belief, adults are not omniscient. We don't know what we're doing either.
It's like I don't know. Like I don't know why the sky is blue. Like why it makes the color blue. Why we see the color. Like I can't keep going as deep into whys. Don't know how refraction works. They should. There you go. You're a 3-year-old and watching this stream. Go ask your parents about mushrooms.
I was a 3-year-old. You called me a 3-year-old for a long time.
True. Yeah, that's true. There you go. You better ask your dad about mushroom facts then.
I'm 20 now. How does that make you feel, Google?
Makes you feel a bit old. Marquis Stan's kid could ask about mushrooms, son.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Ça a été une bonne ambiance, franchement, moi j'en garde des bons souvenirs.
Oh, thank you, Kubji. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. So like.
Oh God, they're grabbing the camera. Oh God, where
Oh
are
wait,
they
they're
taking
grabbing
us?
the camera.
Where are they taking us?
Where are we going? This is like, oh, this is their setup. What is? I see their Discord. This is like Speedfest 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back. That was scary.
It was a wild adventure we were just forcibly taken on.
Yeah. Ah! Today she's asking about food. See, mushrooms are food. You could. All right.
Not all mushrooms are food. No.
Oh well. Okay. Some mushrooms are food. Finding makes mushrooms more plentiful, which leads credence to Japanese mushroom farming lore. Interesting. Speedfest 19. Speedfest 19.
Never again.
Never again edition. That time I powered through with my naked juice and blueberries for a day. Stayed up like 20 hours for that.
I mean, I guess they can be food, but you're not gonna like all of them.
Newt was also telling people to not listen to their doctor. And all mushrooms are food. Don't listen to your doctor. These are all memes that happened during the Binding of Isaac run.
Good.
Yep. Okay, Helix. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a doctor drink tea?
I haven't.
Exactly. Exactly. No one's seen a doctor drink tea. Never.
I'm gonna go on YouTube and Google doctor drinking tea.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that right.
We need definitive.
Doctor, this is professional stream right here. 7 benefits of green tea and how to drink it. Dr. Mike. I mean,
This is what we do at Midwest Speed Fest, by the way, if you haven't noticed. We just kind of do whatever. We get absolutely ridiculous sometimes.
well, there's Dr. Dre, but Dre spelled it D-R-A-Y, so kind of different. Dr. Dre. Yeah, Dr. Dre.
I guess.
Don't forget about Dre. Don't forget about tea. Nude giving these conspiracies. Dr. Oz giving videos. Is Dr. Oz an actual doctor? Don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Dr. Josh Axe. I think I've seen Dr. Josh Axe before. I think I've heard of him. So it looks like there are doctors drinking tea. I mean,
que simplement venir sur la chaîne du Baguette Stream tous les 3-4 mois pour aller voir un truc.
Eh ben, je pense qu'on est bon. Il n'y a pas de questions dans le chat, non, c'est bon.
Non, c'est bon, tout le monde dort.
We are gonna raid someone here pretty soon.
we're
Just
gonna
so
raid.
y'all know.
We're gonna raid fastest first. They will
Yeah.
have some. Oh, they're gonna have Focus Side doing Silver Story right
Yeah.
now, and then Bahamut will be doing River City Girls. So we got two Speedfest runners. Right.
I just got a notification. I just got our going live notification. I
Wait,
just got a Midwest Speedfest is live notification. We've been live for 35 hours, and I just got a notification.
How did you just get the notification?
I have no idea.
What?
Twitch is weird with that.
What the
Another thing I was gonna say is that Fastest Furs is basically headed by one of our volunteers, Moonblaze Wolf.
Yeah. So that's even more like Speedfest people are all over the place.
Heck yeah.
Come to me for your health. The doctors would have you drink water too, wouldn't they?
And if you are not a Speedfest people, then you should become a Speedfest people. We'd love to have you.
We would. You can join our Discord. You can submit to our marathons. You can just hang out and come to game nights if you want.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to point out that our next marathon is online, and everyone is welcome to submit to that, no matter where you're from.
yeah.
We may say Midwest Speedfest, but it doesn't matter where you're from. All right.